Hello. Welcome to another episode of Drag the Lake. I am your host, one of your hosts, Andy Malafrina. With me, as always, very special man, back from the
Very special
very
man.
special man, doing his darndest.
Hi.
Some would say he's oddly stronger than a normal person. Why? I'd rather not get into that. But this super special guy just trying his darndest. We let him shoot a couple shots at the end of the game when we're winning by 40 points. Everyone give it up. The very special boy, Pat George. Back.
Walking into the end zone, it's Pat. My mom says I'm cool George.
It's Pat when he runs the football. Everyone pretends to tackle him, but jumps out of the way.
I just saw
George.
I just saw a video speak. Hey Andy, how's it going? Hi everybody.
Oh,
Hi,
hey, buddy.
hi drag the Lakers.
Back from New Hampshire, where he was undoubtedly sinning like a motherfucker, buying
Absolutely.
weed. Crazy.
Recreational marijuana in Massachusetts is the only redeeming quality of Massachusetts as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah. Let's get into that. But before we get into that, before we get into that, I do like to let people know today on the episode, I'm gonna tell you about a new album I just listened to for the fans of heavy ass shit that like emotional shit. I'm gonna tell you that or heavy ass shit that also gets a little emotional. I'm gonna tell you about an album you need to listen to. I'm gonna ask Pat. I'm really curious what he has to say about all the Blink stuff I said last week. We got a thing about Taylor Swift, and we're gonna get into just why Kanye's nailing it. So anyway, Pat, New Hampshire or Massachusetts.
Yeah,
No.
I'm telling you what. Me and my wife were driving up to New Hampshire. We're doing a little bit of leaf peeping.
Hell
Uh,
yeah! Oh, you peep it. You peeping the Leafs.
Peeping the leaves. We're not parking on the highway like a couple of irresponsible dickheads. But
Wait, what? Did you do that?
there is an amount of no parking signs on the highway in New Hampshire that I'm like, who the fuck needs that? And then you're driving along this drive. Holy shit. Also, Connecticut. Holy fuck. That's really beautiful too. They still
Yeah,
drive like assholes though.
dude. When I did that show with Robbie and BK Chris, Pork Fest up in New Hampshire, dude. The
Mhm.
rock. Actually, I didn't. We left at the end of the. We left towards the end of the day because me and him both had shit to do during the day, and it was mainly a nighttime drive. We actually, I don't know if I told you this. We actually almost died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like it was pitch black. There's no fucking extra lights besides the two on the front of your car, and we're driving. And you know how just like you'll be driving and the lights on your car look a certain way the whole time, and then they just start to look different, and you're like, why does that look different? And like
Yeah.
they're not hitting the darkness the same way they've been hitting the darkness this whole trip. And
You're
then we
like,
got close.
where's that dart going?
Yeah, why is the darkness hitting different? And then we get closer and closer and closer and realize there's a giant fucking tree
Ugh.
like sprawled across the lane. We were in the right lane, sprawled across that lane, and in the last second, we fucking swerve out of the way.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so we like kinda almost died.
Yeah, that's terrifying. So
Yeah,
wait, so what this was in New Hampshire?
this was on the way to on the way to New Hampshire. It was actually
Oh,
funny
okay.
the way we went. The trip was took for fucking ever, but we were only in New Hampshire for probably like the last 20 minutes of the trip.
Yeah.
The way it took us up there. But yeah, no, we were going through like Vermont and all those other fucking northeastern states. But that the drive up was at nighttime. The drive home was actually kind of magical because you're like, damn, it's beautiful as fuck up here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No goddamn, sorry to cut you off again. No goddamn fucking gas stations or rest stops on the fucking highway, but at least it's beautiful.
Yeah, but plenty of bathrooms, if you know what I'm saying. and
No.
and from the looks of it, I think if recreational weed is in Massachusetts, I think recreational fentanyl is in New Hampshire. So it's I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are doing it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of
It,
people are doing it where they know they're doing it or where they don't know they're doing it. They're doing it.
I felt weird going into a bathroom with a backpack on. And like everybody was like, "Oh boy,
What do you
it's gonna be
mean?
hard to move."
Why? Because they thought you were fucking pushing that work?
It's just yeah, it's just like one of those things that I was like, "Oh man, they probably think coming in here to fucking boot up."
Yeah, probably. Wait, is that a
Think
fentanyl
so.
user heavy thing? Just having a big backpack?
No, well, I think that goes with the homelessness, but I think the fentanyl comes with the a nice door that locks that I can get some privacy and do my drugs.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Ooh, a
Yeah, yeah,
private room.
yeah. I think that's surprisingly enough, that's why most major cities I feel like don't want you or anybody in their public restrooms is because they're just
Yeah,
like you're gonna
because there's a
die.
shit ton of homeless people.
Get out of here. You're gonna die in there. Get out.
Well, that's why you don't run into that problem in the fucking suburbs because it's hard for them to get to the places.
Right.
The homeless people can get to the places in the city easy.
The thing
But they
that sucks though is that a lot of suburbs are starting to get that way too, where it's just like they just don't know what to do. It's like them in mass shootings. They're just like, if you do a mass shooting in New York, it's over like that. But if you do, if you do it out in the major city, they're like playing fucking Snake on their phone, waiting for waiting for somebody to show up and go like, "What do we do?"
Oh yeah, they're fucking being like, I don't want to go in there. The bullets hurt.
Yeah,
And then moms are like, well, can I save my kid? And they're like, get the fuck down, bitch.
ma'am, it's dangerous. Get back. We're professional.
Dude, that's the kind of shit. That's why, not to go into my bullshit, but that's why I always say, like, yo, you don't have to believe in conspiracies, but the people don't fucking shit on the people who do. Because if you look, like, what was the one shooting where the cops are like, yeah, we're just gonna hang out for an hour while he unloads on kids.
Trivaldi or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and then the mom was like, all right, I'm gonna go run in and save my kids, and the cops were like, no, you fucking bitch, get down. And you're like, why? None of that
yeah.
makes sense.
And then a border patrol guy comes by, and they're like, "Can we stop him?" And he's like, "I'm just gonna." It was like him dealing with a bunch of Paul Blarts, and he's just like, "Can I? I'm just gonna go in there." And he's just
It
like,
was, yeah, it was like
you,
pure, because the one dude was also like, yeah, I don't want to send my guys in. It was really dangerous. I was like, yeah, you know why it was dangerous? Because he was shooting kids. You know what
yeah,
I mean? It was pretty dangerous for them.
yeah. Guess what? Yeah, it's still dangerous. Can
It's like
we?
that's your fucking job. And I will say this, I do think cops who actually do their fucking job do get underpaid for like
Yeah,
the shit that's asked of them.
right,
But at the
right.
same time, like at my job description is to like unload trucks, put away product, do all that stuff. In your job description, it's get in front of a bullet when it's aiming at a kid.
Right, and that's the thing. It's like it's the same agreement that I'm sure one of these motherfuckers probably didn't tip one time, and somebody was like, "What's going on, Bill?" And he's just like, "What? Like she fucking agreed to do the job. I'm not gonna pay her extra because she just did her job." It's like, so what are you getting paid for, bud? Like
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, and also
these are all hypotheticals.
all those people who do that shit at restaurants, by the way, are just like they're just like, finally, I'm in charge of someone, and they're like, well,
Yeah,
they didn't give me extra service, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you've never taken a longer shit than you should have, so you can check fucking Twitter, dickhead.
exactly. And it's a the secret hypocrite is the bane of this society's existence. I feel
Dude.
like.
And then you get people who are like, well, they should pay them more, and I'm like, well, they don't.
Yeah.
So just fucking
Yeah.
like
They're
stop.
just not gonna do that.
Like
So can you just give
they don't. And
right? They don't.
I appreciate the fact that you brought me my burger and Coors Light. So
Right.
I will help you not die.
Right. Thanks a lot for doing like because honestly, at this point, like I don't want to fucking spill the beans, but the bare minimum nowadays is not even that's not even like expected anymore. Like the regular like, oh, I'm just gonna go to this place and get the service. Like
Yeah.
you just go there and just like, yeah, supply chain, nah. It's like, oh, oh, but I have money, and they're like, yeah, but we don't have the thing, and you're just like, oh, okay, okay. I used to be able to just go. There's a sriracha shortage right now.
Really?
Yeah, there's a chili pepper shortage because give it away now. There was no, there was something like no, there was like a crop problem or something like that,
Yeah.
and no sriracha. That just means no sriracha. They had no backup plan. And they're just like, hey, those were our peppers for our chili sauce, and the peppers are dead because of something. We don't know if it was again a conspiracy. Could be the Tabasco, big Tabasco. Could be,
Big Tabasco is burning down
but
fucking
but
the
Don was like,
sriracha plants.
Don was going to fucking multiple. My wife was going to multiple different stores the other day in search of a fucking sriracha and couldn't find it. Like like the bear, like you just going to a store and finding stuff nowadays is like that's over,
Oh,
dude.
that's funny. See, I won't go to the second store.
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, this is what Sriracha wants, for me to be their bitch. No, you come to me, Sriracha.
Yeah. I'm gonna go home and order it on Amazon.
Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. I don't come to you. You come to me, Sriracha.
So basically,
Bef-
that's what we were doing in New Hampshire.
Finding Sriracha.
Yeah.
Damn. Dom
We had
needs
to
her.
go a long way, dude.
Damn. Dom needs her spicy ketchup.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like one of those things. It's not the number one condiment, but it's close. It's definitely close, at least in our house.
Fair enough. So before we get into this episode and I ask you about Blink 182, or no, talk about that band, I do want to address a comment that made me laugh, because I put this video. If you guys haven't watched it, I said rapper goes viral by tricking Twitter.
Mhm.
And I thought I made some good points, but I did do. So I was laughing. And this is just sort of a PSA for anyone who's new to the show. And we've already sort of done what I'm about to say, but the comment was cracking me up. The guy goes, "Holy shit, man, 15 minutes in and you still haven't gotten to the content." You even which that's not true.
That's the
That's
show,
not
dude.
true. But well, this, and then he goes, you even did chapters on the vid, but no clear start to the actual story in the title. It's just more rambling, which I will say there's two sides of this.
Yeah.
One, if you're not if you're in a hurry,
Yeah.
this ain't the podcast for you, buddy.
Yeah, this is a quick takes with Pat and Andy.
Well, that's what I kind of wanted to. I kind of wanted to tell.
Drag the lake. You're dragging the lake, okay?
Well, that's
okay.
what okay. We're dragging it. We're dragging on. We're not just dragging the lake. We're dragging on in the
Right.
lake.
Get
But
it?
no, I wanted to tell the dude, just like, yeah, dude, this ain't. I don't know what to tell you. I've been doing this for a while. I don't know if I can fucking fix my shit that much. But if you're a new listener and you're looking for us to fucking be snappy with it, I don't know if this relationship's right for you. But also, he was annoying the shit out of me too, because it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I don't even know if that applies properly to this, but it feels like it does. But I just got annoyed because in that video, I'm like, don't get me wrong. I did a little spring cleaning for, I felt like I got some shit wrong in the previous video, and I spent about 5 minutes correcting that. Then I'm like, all right, let's talk about this. Yeah. And when I'm really trying to make a point, I'm really trying to like make sure no stones left unturned. And it just hurt my feelings because I was like, the chunk of the content starts at like 10 minutes. And he's like, you finally got to the point at 15. And I'm just like, it was all exposition to further strengthen my point. Why are you not seeing this? I worked so hard for you and you don't appreciate me, Quentin.
I thought I was just explaining.
The commenter's name. But I just wanted to bring that up. If you're looking for some quick hits, I apologize. We are not the boys for you.
Yeah, and the fact that Andy said, Pat, we should do a music show together should also let you know that I'm not gonna speed things up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to traffic cop and go, Andy, we got to stay on topic here, bud. I'm here to do cool intros, shitty lists, and give weird ass takes.
Absolutely, to give hot takes.
That's it. I'm here to just sprinkle in a little bit of Pat when I can, because you know what? This here is not the point of the show. The point of the show is coming up. But I think we should actually. I was going to actually even ask you some pointers as far as chapters for YouTube and everything like that. Maybe we could use some work. But hey, silver lining, in my opinion, is this guy stuck into the video 15 minutes. Like he was sitting there just like he's sitting there. I'm just imagining him watching real time, just going like, get to it. Get to the fucking point.
Oh, that's
get to the fucking point.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part about these comments. Especially, he wasn't like that shitty.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. He was like, that comment just made me laugh because I was like, I think you're looking for the wrong thing here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And we tend to overanalyze a lot. Like if you get a comment like that, like you oftentimes read it in a different probably intention that it was probably meant for. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times the tone I read comments in is like me.
Oh yeah, that's how everyone reads comments in the tone of just like at the very end they're adding on like, oh yeah, also fuck your mother.
No, yeah, exactly. Like not even that necessarily, but literally the tone is like, oh, Andy, great video, love your takes. It's like,
yeah, and I also wanted to tell him, I'm like, because like in the now he might have clicked the chapter to skip ahead, but he still listened for like 5 minutes after that.
Right.
And I part of me wanted to tell him, oh, I even said, I said, bro, you got 15 minutes into a video you didn't like. I think we're friends now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what yeah, exactly.
That's what I want. It always makes me laugh when people do that shit where they're like, oh, I sat through this whole video and you fucking suck. And you're like,
thanks.
I think you liked it. Like, I think you sat like, that's crazy. The video was 20 minutes long. To sit through 20 minutes of a video that you hated, like that's crazy. I think you liked the video, dude.
Yeah, it's also a lot of times where people I think realize they don't pay it, like they make the mistake, but they make it your problem kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I posted an improvised comedy set once, and somebody, the one comment, it's always a shitty comment, which sucks, but it's the one shitty comment. It's like, if you took out how many times you said like or then this video would only be 2 minutes and 13 seconds or something, like whatever the fuck it is. And it was like, I was like, it's or something like that. He's like, work on your writing. And I was just like, the last comment was like, work on your writing. I was like, wait a minute, this is improvised. Like, I say like and because I'm trying to think, stupid, and I can't think well. Like, so if you're gonna make fun of me for my mental deficiency, then good for you, dickhead. Also, like, I don't think this is what you're looking for. If you're looking for well-structured, well-written comedy, don't go to the dumbass with a triple digi followers on YouTube to for your comedy. You know what I mean? Like, that's I'm not Kevin Hart. Well thought out, very well structured comedy.
I always thought that reminded me
Kevin
too
Hart.
of when that reminded me too of whenever kids would get made fun of in school because they had like shitty shoes or whatever.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, oh, you don't want cooler shoes, and you're like, obviously I do.
I really want them. We can't afford them.
Yeah, that always seemed like. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I made fun of mad kids in school. Like totally. I was a bully sometimes, like without a doubt. But it always felt like people were being like fucking stupid because it's like, oh, you don't want Nikes, and you're like, yes,
I do,
obviously. And I'm not saying this about me because I didn't grow up poor or nothing, but like I would never make fun of the poor kids for that because you're like, obviously they want better shit.
Yeah.
I remember afford it.
There was this fucking idiot one time. I fucking roasted his ass because he was making fun of a kid for his mom buying his shoes for him, and I said, yeah.
How old was he?
We're in middle school. What are you doing? Yeah, all of our moms bought everything. We have everything we have was ours.
Bro, that was the funniest thing about being in. I mean, it still holds true into adulthood because when I got out of college, when I got in college and started to get or later and started to get into the workforce and all this shit, you start to realize you're like, oh, we don't ever leave high school.
Yeah.
Like you think people mature.
Nope.
You think people mature and you leave. You're like, you never leave high school.
Never.
And like, you still see people do it to this day, but I remember in high school, like, dude, we made fun of the kid who got laid first. That's crazy. We're all jealous of him. We all want pussy.
This faggot got pussy.
We all want pussy so bad. They're like, oh, why are you tired? Because you're fucking so much? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna go hang out with your girlfriend? Yeah. And I'm gonna touch her boobs and I'm gonna lick them too. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things that it's all that ridiculous thing that what you made fun of. The same thing with like jerking off, like how everybody was terrified of telling someone you're jerking off when you're a kid, but now you're just like, yeah, that's just kind of what I do. It's just a part of life. It's the perspective of a middle schooler is definitely skewed, that just whatever you are is lame because it's just projecting.
Oh, 100%.
Everything is projecting. And it's
oh my God. Every time. What the fuck? I forget if I said it on here or panties, but, you know how the US is fun. Like the big reason Ukraine is still able to like hold strong against Russia is because like we're funding them. And that's called like a proxy war. Like when one country funds another country, it's like a proxy war. Whenever you're an adult and you're getting in fights, like it's basically your childhood is funding a proxy war
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
else's childhood is also funding their proxy
Yeah,
war.
dude, that's fucking brilliant. Yeah,
That like
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
what it is, because it's like whenever anytime I've gotten all big and mad and like start screaming at someone, and then when I calm down, I was just like, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
My dad never verbalized the words I love you enough. So that's why when you do things like that, I have a involuntary reaction where I act like a fucking dickhead. You know what I mean? It's like that's every fight as an adult, it's basically your childhood funding a proxy war on the present.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, because it's you think that you only live out your dreams through like your childhood dreams through your children. Like, no, like people without children can absolutely do that shit in traffic. You know what I mean? Like, like one of those things of like, if you don't, if I have my personal trigger, Andy, is when I feel like I haven't been listened to, if people aren't paying attention,
Yeah.
if I've been overlooked or something like that. And guess what business is the worst for that?
What? Oh
Comedy.
yeah.
How many fucking emails have I sent out with no response, and I just go, you could just say no, you know? But that unfortunately has also manifested itself into through me going into traffic and getting cut off and being ignored. But any of those things, that as I think as long as you're aware of it and you can go, like you said, it's still going to happen. It's just about how you react to it, and if it if you actually have an outburst or not.
Yeah,
Still,
exactly.
you still have the outburst, do you think?
What?
Like, do you still have those, like, whoa, like the, like, are you, because I feel like over time I've been able to, like, in my head I'm going like, yeah,
Well,
like,
my strength is that so I'm able to like if I'm about to like spaz or like just be a loud dickhead, I'm able to mask that and not make it obvious.
yeah,
But when I'm alone, that will be all I think about for the rest of the day
yeah,
sometimes.
yes,
So
yeah.
my big, and we'll talk about music in a second, you fucking pussies.
We'll get the chapters right this time, okay?
Yeah, okay. So that by the way is why I'm like, you
Yeah,
guys can't bitch. I am gonna put in the work to put timestamps. So if
right,
you don't want to hear any of this, you can fucking jump ahead. You know
yeah.
what I mean? This is the fucking Mark Maron intros we all know no one fucking likes.
We're
I
here for
get it.
you. We
But we'll give you
promise.
the
We
timestamps.
promise.
Don't
This is for
worry.
us. We need this.
We need this. Shut up.
Okay?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, stop it.
Stop being mean to me.
Okay, Andy, I have I'm sorry, I'm not, I'll let you finish, but I have a point to make with the
Yo, are you about to fucking Kanye me?
I promise. I'm gonna let you finish. Go for it.
Wait, what were we talking about?
Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah. But so my big victories now are the fact that like I used to be a guy where if some shit happened that bothered me, because like I can't let something go until like I've like done the math and figured it out, if that makes any sense.
yeah, you don't necessarily have to talk it out, but you need to work it out. Like, you
I
need
need
to
to
like
like I need to
shut
like
down and just go
I
like,
need to like do the math and to be
yeah,
like who was wrong, how much were they wrong, da da da, like
right.
crazy shit like that. My big thing as an adult is I've been figuring out how to like let it go. So like my big victory in the past couple years or so is well, first off managing my heartburn, and second off second off being able to like fucking let it go quicker. That's been like
Yeah.
the big fucking thing, because I've learned through fucking reading about a bunch of this shit, you're not gonna necessarily, like you were saying before, you're not necessarily gonna avoid the reaction per se. You know,
Right.
you can over time, but like in the short term, the reaction's gonna happen. It's how you react to that shit. It's how you process that and then move on and figure that out and move on to the next thing.
And I think that my point with this is, I think YouTube, I don't think that YouTube ever thought they were doing a good thing, but I think they were just trying to project that they were doing a good thing when they took away the dislike, because they didn't take away the dislike option. They took away showing other people the dislikes.
Yeah.
But guess what? You know who still gets to see the dislikes? The fucking person who posted it.
Dude, I miss the
So
dislike.
so
I miss the dislike so much.
it's one of those things that, like, it is, shows the balance when it's actually being shown.
Yeah.
But if you take away you're only keeping the mental illness, but with no justification of like, what are you talking about? He's got 8 likes. I don't know, but he had fucking 16 dislikes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, the I miss being able to see the dislikes because it was like the great equalizer. It gave you a clearer picture of like how people shit was doing. You know, they had that on fucking Netflix, and then fucking Amy Schumer started getting housed. So they changed it. Or no, they had the star rating. They had the
yeah,
star rating,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
Amy
yeah.
Schumer started getting housed on
Now
that,
they have
and
the
then they
thumbs up
changed.
or down.
Yeah, and then I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was with YouTube. It was probably something to have to do with like
Something with bullying, I'm sure, or something. I
yeah,
honestly
or
don't know, but it
well no,
was
it was
not a good
probably
gesture, in my opinion.
honestly it was probably like annoying ass presidential shit because like people working at YouTube are probably like, more hyped on Biden than Trump or whatever the fuck. So I think part of it had to do with shit like that but I don't know.
It's weird, man. It's crazy to me because like I feel like you're not actually like it's still harboring that same people are gonna still harbor that same kind of like dissent, like I don't know, I distaste towards people, like they're gonna still be bitter assholes because they
Yeah.
know people don't fucking like them,
Yeah.
but like, or they're gonna be just more, we're gonna just have more oblivious fucking assholes, which actually would be bringing us into some of our topics today after you talk about that band.
Yeah. Well, I missed the dislike button because like the dislike button was super helpful because you can make better decisions as a consumer.
Yeah, but
Because
you
you could like if like
yeah,
say you were watching a video and you just like because there's a lot of people who kind of what's the fucking phrase? I don't know what the exact phrase would be, but there's a lot of people on YouTube who are sort of like like doing a soft hoodwink on
yeah,
you, and like
taking
they're
away
not like
exactly.
flat out they're not like flat out lying, but you're
It's not just
definitely
clickbait. Yeah,
yeah, it's not full blown clickbait, but they're still clickbaiting you a little bit, and then you can sort of notice by like the dislike button to be like, oh, something's up with this, and you can kind of you can make better decisions as a consumer. So
you can look at it and say, okay, the title says this, the fucking title card or the thumbnail is this, and but there's like 40 dislikes and like 2 likes. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like you can probably be like, this is probably not the thing I'm looking for.
Well, you can also too get a better
But you can still judge for yourself. That's the thing, is it still shows you the video. That's the thing.
yeah.
Like I honestly feel like it is absolutely just it's not encouraging but empowering clickbait people. It's making people go like, hey YouTube, this is like, they want people to be that, hi, how's it
Mm-hmm.
going, like this, blah blah,
Yeah.
the list, and no copyright infringement, no this, no that. All you got to do is just, we just want completely clean, like no, can't have death, you can't have any fun stuff. It's like
Can't have death, the fun shit.
you can't have nudity, you
You
can't have
just want YouTube to be fucking rotten.com.
yeah, dude, like what the fuck, like
No,
it's
you're just sitting over there.
everybody.
You're like, bring back Live Leak. I want to see murders in third world countries.
This is the guy, the last guy that doesn't have a fucking Reddit account. That's just like, come on. It's like, dude, you can just go anywhere else and find this shit. But I just, it's one of those things that like, it's not a true representation of everybody's opinion, everybody's take,
Yeah.
but it is close enough. But it's
Yeah.
just so, it's like the Disney, as I guess a better version, it's like Disney internet, in my opinion, really.
Yeah. Well, that's why that's what seems to happen all the time when you I noticed that early in YouTube where people would be like, YouTube's gonna go contrary to the fucking mainstream of how it is now. And then like over time you just like go, I'll do it right now. Go look what like the fucking trending videos are. If you go
Yeah.
in music, and not to sound like a fucking hipster cunt, but if you go in music on the trending videos, it's all fucking mainstream bullshit.
Yeah.
And then if you go look at the blogs, it's essentially the YouTube version of reality shows, all that fucking all that fucking junk food horseshit. And it's like, and then on top of that, half the trending videos are from fucking horseshit late night shows. So
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, that's just entertainment now. It's kind of like one of those things. But I also understand that most, like, it's more of it's a privilege, not a right. Do you know what I mean? Like YouTube and shit like that, is a cool thing to have, to be
Yeah.
able to post these things. So yeah, you got to follow their rules and do their thing, whatever.
Well,
But
yeah,
you're
here's
still able to be at least somewhat on the same level, at least on the surface, with the late night shows and the other like Hollywood produced fucking
sure.
shorts and shit like that. So
Yeah,
give you a
it's just
chance.
I get what you're saying. It's just annoying when you're like, yeah, dude, this app, like most people don't care about the fucking goofy shit you're worried about.
Right.
I remember one of the big shifts in YouTube, especially with advertisers, is there was a thing with you know that dude Booty Pie. There's a thing with that dude,
Is it PewDiePie?
PewDiePie or something like
PewDiePie,
that.
yeah, something
There
like
was
that.
like a big thing with there was a big thing with him where he was trying to see like there's shit on Fiverr where people will you pay them like $5, they'll say anything they want. And there was this dude dressed up as Jesus who he paid him to say Hitler did nothing wrong. And it was like YouTube, like a bunch of people saw that and they're like, that's anti-Semitic. And you're like, it's not. He's doing a like social experiment or whatever the fuck. And I'm not like, I think Booty Pie stinks. I'm just kind of like,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
actually, he doesn't stink that much. I just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But like he was,
But that's what it is at our age. When you don't like something, it stinks.
yeah.
It's
But
like I
like,
don't get it.
so
It stinks.
they take it out of context and turn it into this like big super fucking like anti-Semitic thing, and you're just like, and like every normal person who would watch, every reasonable person who would watch that is just like, no, I get what he was doing. He was proving a point that people are whores for money.
Right.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah. Yeah.
proven a point, but like when it's like you have this cool thing, but they have this big influence of these like like fucking pussy corporate establishments, and
Yeah.
they're just like, no, get this shit out of here. So then it like shifts to become a much more lame platform, and they just
Yeah.
start. So it's like the problem is they're leaning towards the corporation and the advertisers' needs. When like if you see anything, like a great example is I don't know if you ever watched the show Breaking Points.
No.
It's basically like it's they're on YouTube. It's a news show. They're very like compared to regular cable news, they're very very good. And it's like look at them versus like Fox, CNN, any of those. You go on to watch Fox or CNN or any of those, and they fucking stink. And you go, okay, where do they get their money? Oh, it's because fucking like Raytheon and all
Yeah.
these big pharma companies are paying their fucking bills, and they don't have to make sure we're happy. They have to make sure fucking Raytheon and Big
Right.
Pharma's happy. But if you look
Right.
at Breaking Points and you go, how do they make their money? You go, well, it's subscription based. And it's like, oh, now because it's subscription based, Breaking Points have to make sure that their consumers are happy. They don't give a fuck what Raytheon gives a fuck about. It's
Right.
if you notice the history of like the fucking newspaper, it's why it got shittier and shittier over time, because for a while newspaper would be based on subscribers, and then when the internet came along, then they started to be like, oh, we can make money if we put outrageous headlines and make this shit go viral. Not that the news wasn't like up to no good since day one, but they were able to get away with less bullshit back in the day.
From what I understand, the history of like newspapers and things like that was it was newspapers did have political leanings no matter what at like for forever.
Yeah.
And they ended up going to a period where they kind of got away from it and went towards like advertising and just kind of regular bland news, and it wasn't as popular, but we're able to work in the advertising with the like with political sidings that they like, since most companies now kind of have to choose a political side in a
Yeah.
way, like they kind of were able to work it back into now it's always apparently been, this is like the Democratic leaning newspaper, here's the Republican leaning newspaper, here's the like that. But it's the unfortunate thing is I think even at that time there were probably a portion of people that wanted just like regular press, just
Mm-hmm.
free press, like actual like the thing where like I'm just going to report things that are happening. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's always been those other bigger conglomerates to be able to shut down any just like the parties. Do you know what I mean? Like it is an extension of the
Yeah.
party.
I guess like my general point is like you're saying, like I was saying earlier, there's always been fuckery.
Yeah,
It's
always
just
been fuckery.
how it is now compared to how it used to be is just substantially worse. And like the
But now, oh,
journalists
sorry.
in general are just like really bad at their jobs, things like that. What was the other point I was going to say? I actually don't mind. I know a lot of people get annoyed when like people on the news have sort of a bias or say what their bias is. And I'm like, I would rather you tell me your bias, because the idea that anyone doesn't have a bias is insane. Everyone has a
Yeah.
bias. Every single person has a bias. So I would rather know your bias to sort of know where you're coming from and to interpret what you say uh in the right way. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. I think
To know
there's
where you're coming from.
I think there's still like I still think there's a possibility to have like an actual like news organization, or at least a news type. And I think that's kind of what eventually, like, it sucks because like the news will report the same stories that may, like, the footage may be taken down from YouTube.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, like, it's still it's a as long as you realize the thing that we're talking about, that each newspaper or news organization has a leaning for the most part, whether it be, even if it's the subscription, like the subscribers being the people that they're trying to appease to.
Yeah.
Like, there is, no matter what, there's not, except for, unless, like, let's say Twitter or Facebook, or not necessarily Facebook. Twitter is more likely. Reddit, I guess, is another one where just anybody can post a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's why I want YouTube to be, yes, death to be it, because that's the thing, is like one of those things, like, I don't necessarily need every, murder to be live streamed. But if somebody live stream a murder, or kills somebody on TV, or kills somebody and records it, like, I don't think you should glorify it. But I think the fact that that exists is like, you're censoring reality in that sense.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things that, like, I understand why they are doing it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily have to see the images to be able to know the story.
Yeah. I
You're
get I
still using the story, which I think is still gross. You're still using that trauma. You're still
yeah.
using the thing, but now you're homogenizing it, and you're profiting off of it
Mm-hmm.
without, like, actually, like, you know what I mean? And you're shaping the story. It's one of those things that, like, I feel like I see both sides of the censorship part of it, because now I understand it's always been that. There has always been, as far as like news organizations or anything like that, there's always been, like you say in your beautiful eloquent way, fuckery.
Yeah. There's always been. I've been leaning into talking like that more because I had like a realization. It was funny. I wanted to talk about this one song. Fuck, what was it called? The dude's
Boundaries?
name. What?
From Boundaries?
I
Oh,
did want to talk about boundaries, but there was another song. I don't know if you saw me post it on my Hey, wait. Oh yeah. I don't know if you saw me post it on my story,
uh-uh.
but there's this rapper I found. His name's Bob Almighty.
Uh-huh.
And he has this here, wait, let me look front porch lyrics bot. There we go. He has this song called, and it just hit me. It was this weird thing where, because like a lot of times I've always been intrigued with, because I've talked to some people where they'll look at like white kids like me from the suburbs, and they'll be like, how the fuck are you like so into rap sometimes? And when these dudes are talking about like doing a drive-by or selling coke or selling
Yeah.
drugs in general, and they're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
all this stuff, and I can identify to none of that. I've never done a drive by.
Yeah.
I've never been a drug kingpin. Now I'm not saying I won't be,
Right.
but I've never, and it's
You
just
didn't even
like
do mushrooms at Skankfest.
I didn't. I did Adderall. I did Adderall, and it was pretty great.
Snorted it? You snooted it?
No. I took it would it be that'd be the best way to do drugs, by the way, just go out there and like, no, I got a prescription in Vegas. I kept it
Oh.
super on the up and up.
It's got drugs, guys. Am I right?
I got a script. No, but there's this thing with do you like rap?
Yeah.
Okay. But
I like rap. I think that's the best way you can put it. I'm not like a rap fan. Not a huge. The only concert I've been to is Action Bronson, because I felt like I could sing along.
nice.
And
I felt safe to say every word of his songs.
safe to say, to scream them out loud. Yay, Bronzino! But yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I'm a fan, but I'm just not like I'm not like a diehard, I would say.
Yeah, but no. So there's this thing like with there's this thing where it's like, yeah, I'm not when I listen to this shit, I'm not identifying with what they're saying
Yeah.
exactly, obviously.
I'm less.
But it's like it's this thing where I identify with the intensity of it because that's the thing I've been realizing, especially with making the playlist and stuff, and sort of finding the music that we want to talk to you guys about. At least from my end, is like a big thing I identify with is just general intensity and aggression.
Emotion. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, specifically like intense, aggressive shit. Because I'm
Oh.
naturally like going back to the thing we were talking about earlier, like, you know, when you sort of get emotional and you fucking and your shit rises to the top and
Yeah.
you start like popping off. I personally, by the way, I keep fucking having these fat pauses because I chugged a shit ton of coffee beforehand. I normally can breathe better than this. I'm sorry, everyone.
Anyway.
So here's a rap song I really liked. But no, it's
you
just
losers.
but I just in general really if you look through the music that I like to listen to, I generally just identify with like in your face aggression, and I'm a big so I hear this song and the lyrics are like, bitch, I'm outside on my front porch waiting for a fella who just said that he wants smoke. I make fella laugh, but I'm no joke. Beat a fella ass with my Crocs in sport mode, which is, and I hear that, and I had this moment the other day when I heard that, and I go, that's not me, but that's me. Like
Yeah.
that's the
I got
like
that energy. I'm
I'm
not gonna
not
beat him.
I'm not the guy. Like,
Yeah.
it's this thing where I'm like, no, obviously I'm not sitting on my front porch waiting to shoot someone.
Yeah, not at all. Nope.
But I'm like, whatever my version of that is, like I'm that thing. Like
Yeah.
at least mentally, I have, and that's like it's this weird thing where you can have these. You can, because I think about I've thought about it a lot because I've been a big fan of rap throughout my life, and it's that's where there's connection happens. Where yeah, on the surface, I'm obviously not that, but the general intensity of that shit
Yeah.
is sort of like where I come at things mentally sometimes, where I'm like, I get, like, you hear that and you're like, that's not me, but I get that thought process. It's why, you know, it's why I draw myself to bands like Knock Loose and Every Time I Die, is because there's this fucking internal like, ugh.
Yeah. Dude,
You know what I mean?
I get that same way with Tell Me Nothing by Kanye West. Like I'm not even I wouldn't even say necessarily I love everything by Kanye or even a lot. I know I recognize he's very talented, but that energy, that intensity in that
Yeah.
song, because I have nothing to even to speak to uh getting my money right. I don't even have money to get right
Yeah.
now. But 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 you better wait. Wait till you see it. It's gonna happen. And then you're gonna be all sitting there. All right.
That's great.
I feel that. I feel
Dude,
that exact intensity. And I know exactly what you're talking about because it's one of those things of like what I think every independent artist or any person that again that has been told like you suck or no or you're wrong or this is bad or
yeah.
anything like that over and over again, you're like, okay, like just I'm gonna fucking show you like that kind of thing of like I identify with part of it, but I just have to, you know, not with all the words necessarily.
Not verbatim.
Yeah, not verbatim, but you know, I'm
But
not gonna
yeah.
shoot anyone, I'm not gonna hurt anyone, don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to be successful at what I love.
Yeah, I think it's just a thing of like, yeah, going back to that front porch song, which is really good, and I think you guys should all go.
We wrote it down.
I was listening to him a bunch of him yesterday, Bob Almighty, and he's really fucking good. But yeah, I think it's not it's if you go deeper than the surface of what's happening in the song, it's just like, you know, everyone can identify with, you know, fuck you. That's why I
Yeah.
loved Fuck the Police so much.
Right.
Bro, I literally grew up the person, you know, like growing up in the suburbs, you don't get fucked with you don't get the cops don't fuck with you like that. So I literally grew up being the person. I was just like, if the cops are fucking giving you problem, it's probably because you did something. And then you like, and then you grow up and you actually like read a book or like watch a
Yeah.
documentary or whatever, and you're like, oh, they're jerks sometimes.
Uh-oh.
But
Those
like,
guys were real knuckleheads.
but like even before I was completely convinced of that, you still hear "fuck the police," and you're like,
Yeah.
I've wanted to tell people to fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And then they come with that intensity. So it's just like, it's just that's what I like about I was joking with Nate about this. I was like, I like rap that makes you want to fight someone. And it's like, well, I may not identify with the exact thing they're saying, is we can all identify with someone going, yo, suck my dick.
Yeah, yeah. You had a great list of Run the Jewels songs that make you want to fight.
Oh yeah. We got
Check
to
that
get
out on
bigger. We got to
Spotify.
get bigger so those can actually get fucking listens again, because that
Guys,
was fun.
you guys are gonna love these Spotify only episodes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lists, and I also actually have I think I had a list of songs that I would come out to a fight to. Like if I when I get my first professional fight, dude, I want to fight Jake Paul now. I just want to fight the shit out of
Oh,
that guy. I just want to break the rules and bring like a weapon and like hurt him.
dude,
Not literally,
that
obviously.
that shit
Obviously, this is a
annoyed me.
joke.
That shit annoyed me so much because they were like, Jake Paul beats Anderson Silva, and then you see in the like actual breakdown, you're like on points, and
Yeah,
then you see at one part he got lucky and he got him and he wobbled Anderson Silva, and
yeah,
it's like, oh really, did this young ass kid who's been training for fucking ever wobble Anderson Silva in the last round? And it's just like, and I know this is what he wants, this,
yeah.
like, me getting angry like this is what he wants. Fair enough, you win this round, Jake, but like, fight someone in MMA this fucking year, in the next 12 months, in the
Fight
next
MMA. Yeah, fight MMA at all.
to Jake Paul, in the next 12 months, fight
Right.
someone in MMA or shut the fuck up.
And
If
that's and
he doesn't fight anyone in MMA in the next 12 months, I don't fucking care
yeah.
what he does.
I love boxing. I'm not I don't I it's not my number one at all. And that's because MMA exists now. Boxing had its time, and I'm not saying it's over, and I'm not saying that it's bad, but this is why boxing is not the true test of a fighter's fucking bare knuckle is closer for sure. Bare knuckle fights are crazy. If we're giving out suggestions right now, I'll give
Yeah.
out one right now. Mike Platinum Perry versus Michael Venom Page
Yeah.
is fucking an awesome bare knuckle fight. They go 3 rounds, and then I won't tell you the rest. I won't give you a spoiler,
Yeah.
but there's fucking more to that. So it's a there's MMA because that is what a fight would truly be. A lot of
Yeah.
people recently, I don't know if you watched UFC 280, but when I was in New Hampshire at a 1-year-old's birthday party,
Was
I was
that
watching it
that
on my phone.
yeah. Dude, that's when we did that UFC stream.
Yeah, you were in the garage. Yeah, yeah.
Everyone went to fucking bed, and I was like,
Fight
"Oh, I'm gonna
Island,
get
yeah.
shit faced alone and watch UFC with my buddy Pat."
Yeah, dude. I will always choose a fight over anything else. And people are outraged that Sugar Sean O'Malley took a fight against Piotr Jan. Now, from what I've heard in most judging, as far as like jujitsu competitions, sometimes there's judging that people see in fighting closer to boxing, and then
Yeah.
other people see it closer to like a real life fight. Like if this was a fight,
Yeah.
who would be more effective, let's say.
Yeah.
And Sean O'Malley himself knocked him down multiple times with punches.
Well, because wasn't let me ask you this: what people were saying, like Jan took him down 6 times,
And
and
had 6 minutes of control time combined, but did less damage.
that's my
That's the
point.
point.
I heard
It's a real
someone
fight.
I heard someone say this, and they made a great point where it's like, okay, like, because people act like takedown should be 1,000 points,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, you took him down,
Right.
and then what?
The reason, so there's like, as far as scoring, like there's different things there's like you get 1 point for, I think it's like 2 points for a pass, but you get, I think, 4 points total. I believe don't quote me on this. I haven't competed in forever. I think it's either 3. You get the most points if you get mount, essentially, because that's the most if you get in
This
that
is me
position.
recording and recording your quote.
Don't record this. Are you recording this?
Oh wait, are we podcasting? I forgot.
But it's like if you get into that, if this was a fight, a real life fight, you would be fucked
Yeah.
because this person has complete dominance over you at this point. So yes, you took him down 6 times, but what the fuck did you do with it? You
I
didn't
will.
threaten anything. He got up 5 times. The only time he did, I counted it. I've watched this fight multiple times now because he took him down 6 times. Sean O'Malley got up 5 times. So that's the thing is you took him down, cool,
Yeah.
and you did no damage while you're down there.
Well,
And
that's the fucking point. You're like, okay, you took him down, and then you didn't hurt him.
right.
So
He hurt you more.
but like that's the thing. It's like, okay, if you take them down but you don't hurt them, what am
Right.
I supposed to what am I supposed to take from your take or what am I supposed to think of your takedown?
Right.
And this is
you pushed him down. Cool. Neat.
yeah, and I'm not saying it's nothing to do a takedown. I'm just saying like, okay, you took him down and then didn't hurt them. What
Yeah.
am I supposed to like, congratulate you to no end about that?
Right. And if you're scoring a fight, a lot of times, so if it's boxing, yes, you punched him this number of times, he punched you this number of times, and
I
you
will
got the knockdown. Okay, so you win. Like,
I
what
will say
the
this
fuck are you
though.
talking about?
I will say this though about UFC. There have been because I've been watching it a lot more recently, and there will like every fucking pay-per-view, there will be a thing where you're like, what the fuck? What fight were you fucking? I can't remember which one it was, but I remember the last pay-per-view I watched. There was some fight where it was like, dude, the most casual fan could tell that the one dude won every round.
Right.
And then one of the judges, excuse me, one of the judges
One of the judges.
one of the judges in the UFC, one of the judges scored that the guy who lost won one of the rounds.
And like 10-9, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, he still lost the whole thing. But like the fact that you gave him one of the rounds is really like questionable.
Yeah. What are you looking at, buddy?
And I feel like there's one or two of those every pay-per-view where you're like, oh, you might be mentally challenged if you did that.
Yeah.
There needs to be some sort of uniform grading system in the UFC.
Yeah, and this is the American Devil, Joe Rogan has been saying this for years. Like you cannot judge MMA on boxing, like terms.
Yeah,
but if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna say this is a fight, I'm just saying who would have done better in a fight if they didn't have gloves on? Who would have won this?
And
or
I didn't watch.
Not even necessarily gloves, because really the gloves are only just to protect their knuckles necessarily.
Yeah. And I didn't watch it. And you give it to Sean O'Malley?
Yes. Yeah. And it's close, but yeah. Like, okay. Because I think he did more damage. Like, it's very close. Yes, you did better with takedowns, but he got up 5 times.
Yeah.
The other one was he was saved by the end of the round. But even, like I say, saved because he wasn't up yet.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. But he proved that he could get up after he was taken down and was not, like, damaged anymore than would have if he was standing up. So I think I would like to see a rematch eventually if Piotr Jan doesn't leave the UFC.
Well, I think the money's there. If you have such a divisive decision, whether you don't
fight Chito Vera again, maybe. So that's going to be a good one too. That was he says he didn't lose because he got injured, but he got injured because Chito Vera kicked the shit out of his leg. so you got TKO'd, bro. Like that's just what happens. But
yeah,
that's gonna be a good one. I love Cheeto, and I think Sean O'Malley is really good too. So I think that'll be a good one. But
hell yeah.
But even Cheeto Jan would be great. But now we're just talking. We're
now we're just talking MMA.
Yeah,
check the fucking chapters, people. We have to do chapters on this one. This is crazy.
You can just put this chapter as an intro/ramblings, and just put a couple subjects. Really, just put a couple subjects that we cover. Like,
well, we talked about a little bit of music. Pat, let me tell you about this album I just listened to this morning.
Who's it by?
Well, I just want people to know. I don't know how much we're really gonna get into this because Pat hasn't heard the album, but everyone listening, because we talk about we're the kings of talking about mostly heavy music. That's why you guys come to Drag the Lake. You like to hear rambling, you like to hear UFC breakdowns, and you like to find out what's the best in mostly heavy music. And this band Boundaries, they're fucking great. They I just found this album out this morning, so I'm slow on what the fucking name of the album is. It is called Burying Brightness. You'd fuck with them, dude, because they have there's this new thing I've been noticing with music a lot. Like there's with music nowadays, because all the newer bands, they grew up listening to like emo and screamo and all that, but they've had sort of the history of how music's been so far, and they understand how to make shit heavier. The thing, like screamo back in the day was really good, but it never sounded like if a screamo band played a breakdown, you kind of be like, oh, that's fun. They're fucking
Yeah,
trying. That's a
they're having
fun
fun.
thing they're doing. I
Yeah.
remember the first band that really kind of started to figure it out. It was when fucking from First to Last, bro, they got Wes Borland from fucking Limp
Oh
Bizkit
yeah, I
to play
remember that.
bass for them.
Yeah.
They had on their second album, Heroin, they had some breakdowns on there that were actually pretty fucking heavy and intense. But if you look at these bands now, there's sort of like a half screamo, half hardcore revival. Boundaries doesn't really fall into screamo that much, but they sort of have the same energy of these more emotional hardcore bands. So if you look at bands now, Boundaries, Foreign Hands, See You Space Cowboy, trying to think of another one, but this album is definitely like a big part of that new thing that's going on, where you can get a little bit, it's like you can get a little bit emotional but also have these fucking breakdowns. When you hear them, you're like, oh, I'd go to this show and just fucking crowd kill a teenager. I would just fucking lose my shit and just fucking spin kick a kid in the forehead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been to those shows a little bit recently. I haven't been to a show in a while. Maybe I'll check them. I want to check out more new bands. So I think Boundaries is going to be. Are they a newer? I see. I downloaded it, but it looks like their only album. Is that right? Or
Is that
they?
their only album?
I thought so. Or at least all their top five are from that album. So maybe it's their first
No,
mainstream.
they've been around. Looks like they've been around since like 2017. Oh yeah,
Oh
you know
Jesus
what?
Christ! There's a
I
lot.
was listening to them for a minute, but because
And
they
they have a
had
lot of
one,
releases for each release. I'll tell you that much.
Your Receding Warmth came out in 2020. But yeah, they've been around for a minute, and it's just I don't know. I'm really liking this sort of like new wave of hardcore bands,
I also
because they're doing some new shit, but you can hear there's a clear influence with everything I listened to growing up.
There's also we were talking about this a little bit off the show just via text. Off mic. We were rambling. And that's actually when we talk music. But
If you guys want to hear our music, get in the group chat.
hey, get in the group chat, stupid.
You fucking idiots. Why are you listening
Yeah,
to this
great text
podcast?
there. Oh my
Hack
god.
our phones and get into the group chat, you fucking idiots.
I was texting you about the fact that like how much I love and trust like Fat Mike as a producer because almost every band that he's signed to his label
Oh,
are
because
bands that I think are awesome.
I
Oh, Get
sent
Dead.
you I sent you Get Dead.
Right, that's what it was. And I was
Because
like, oh yeah,
they're my favorite. Shout out Get Dead, because I knew about them because I saw one of their videos. I forget what the fucking song was, but I saw one of their videos a while ago, and they had that it was like ska, but so there's this specific, I don't really get into, I used to like it a lot in high school and shit like that. But there's that type of ska that's like extra silly. It's sort of like that Aquabat style of ska. I used to like it
yeah.
more in high school, but now when I'm older, there's this style of ska that's sort of like that ska that feels like an Outcome the Wolves. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's just like it's like storytelling, like kind of perfect. Well, like Less Than Jake, I think would be probably close to what you're talking about. No,
Uh, mm, no, a little bit. They're a little bit more.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know what the genre is exact. I don't know what you would call the genre, but it's sort of that. It's just
new
a little.
wave.
It's a little bit more. I don't know. I just identify with it because it's talking about. It's like dudes always talking about just like trying to like figure it out, and they'll talk about how they fucking drink too much, and I'm like, I identify with that.
No, me too.
And then you hear a little bit more grittiness in their voice and shit like that.
I think I think I would call it like so like punk ska, like left
Yeah, it's like
not like leftover crack, not like that
not
hard.
100, but yeah, it's a little bit more. Yeah, it's kind of like punk ska, where an Outcome the Wolves was a punk album that was
Okay.
very heavily
Or like
ska
punk ska,
influenced.
punk reggae, I like punk or ska reggae a little bit more. I think I'm more of a reggae guy, but like
I don't really
totally.
I
new
remember
like
that's like when you were sending me the Mad Caddies, and I do like some Mad Caddies, but whenever they do that like slower reggae stuff, I'm kind of because like I said before, I'm an intense aggressive man.
yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes when it's slowed down like that, I kind of get a little bored.
See, that's I'm from Florida. We like to chill out when we're fucking doing our crimes.
it's
Uh,
it's so humid down there, you don't have an option but to chill.
yeah, dude, you can't fucking. We got an upstroke, man. I can't get it on. Oh, missed it down. Coming up, bro. No problem, brother. Oop, oh, fucked up. What? Oh, that sounds good. That's how they invented it in Florida, actually.
Oh, when they were hitting the downstroke, they're like, "Oh, I missed it."
Oh,
Huh?
no problem. Got it on the up one. And like, and that's what it was. That's what Florida reggae is. It's just I'm going.
Oh, huh. But
uh,
yeah, Get Dead too is they're like my favorite version of like acoustic music.
yeah, like a kind
Like
of
if you ever remember
folk,
like
folk
Chuck
punk.
like
Yeah, shit
Chuck
like
Reagan
yeah, yeah.
and shit like that. I'm trying to remember like
Really against
old
me.
they now just go by AJJ, but I know the real band name, Old Andrew Jackson Jihad.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
I was like, wait, what?
anytime Jeff Rosenstock goes acoustic, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that's the thing, and this is kind of bringing back to the point of you talking about like newer bands being influenced by bands that like we were like really loving like back in the day, like or old hardcore bands or anything like that. Is like a lot of times these bands, newer bands that are really good, are also being produced by members of these old bands. So
Oh, that's a really good point.
so the guitar player from Killswitch, I don't know his name, the guitar player from Killswitch Engage is actually an excellent producer, and
Yeah.
also I think has a really good ear for it. The drummer for the Descendants runs the Blasting Room, which is another great production company. So it's not just Fat Mike
That's why I call my bathroom the blasting room.
that's what you come here for, you know. Great hot
And to
takes
be
eventually about 45 minutes in.
to be specific, it's the blasting room for cum and shit.
Oh, for both of them, even
I
if you're taking
blast I blast both.
yeah, sometimes I like to both sometimes at the same time. Well, if you time it right. If
There's like a maitre d at the door.
get
Sir,
out of the way.
sir, shall you be blasting cum or shit today?
I don't feel comfortable answering that. Both it
Sir,
is, sir.
why are you in my home?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing here?
But
But
no, we
I
got a
think
little away from the original topic. Get Dead, we were talking about them the other day. They were a great example of, like you were saying, Fat Mike
yeah,
has a very good ear for music, and it's a very like trusted label. Like when you see that's actually an interesting conversation too, because when I like I do the playlist and shit for every month of like the best new songs. And there's an interesting thing where I've been noticing it more with some of these labels. I grew up being like, oh yeah, most anything on that label I'll fucking love. But then you see like Epitaph, I'll be on Epitaph and randomly they'll have like a hip hop artist. And we talked about it earlier. I
yeah,
like hip hop, but you're like, I need you guys to have more of a consistent thing
right,
because now I can't like trust what you're
yeah,
actually that's not 100% great example, but it'll be more like when if you're used to Epitaph pumping out like good punk rock and stuff like that, and then they send you one of those like flowery fucking poppy emo
yeah,
bands and you're like, I can't like now you've just put a notch in the fact that I can't trust you. Fat Records is more of a thing where you know sort of what their brand is. And
yeah.
if a band comes out, you can just trust that Fat Records is going to send you some good shit.
But he also has like I share in I think a lot of the same like likes as like Fat Mike in that case, like where it's not necessarily so like he may have like a reggae band or a ska punk band or a or even or like a more of a old school punk band or even have sign a band that like I like an older band to one or two records or something like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's one of those things that like you said, it's not like he's just doing it. Bless you, by the way. It's
That was
not.
a cough.
I said bless you.
Thank you.
Just take it. Take the compliment.
I'll take
But
it. I'll take it, Daddy.
take it.
Yeah, dude, I'll take it. I'm so ready to fucking take it.
Bless you, bitch. bitch.
Yeah, give me your bless you.
But I feel like that's most of like it at no point, even if he did like introduce like a like he's worked with like hip hop people or he's done like uh Broadway shows, not
He just
Broadway
did
shows,
some shit with
musical, sorry. You know, like so it's not that he
he just did
doesn't
some shit with
also
Chuck
do those
D.
things, but yeah, with I think it was Chuck D or it was somebody from not Cypress Hill, but I think it was from Public Enemy.
Chuck D.
Um yeah, is that who it is? Is he from Public Enemy? How do I sound by the way? Oh no, but I feel like it's not that he's not collaborating with hip hop people or he's not doing anything, but he's not just trying to like slip it in there on you. You know what I mean? He's
That's a
doing
way
it in the
better,
right place.
that's a way better way to put it
Yeah.
because like I said, like if Epitaph signed a hip hop act, I wouldn't necessarily be like, "Oh, this sucks." It would, but if it's like you can hear there's a type of hip hop act that would work on Epitaph versus did Epitaph just grab a hip hop act
Right.
because that's popular right now?
Right.
And
Right.
Fat Mike does that shit where you might not like every band might not sound like fucking NoFX or the sort of punk that they're known for,
Yeah.
but if it's like a hip hop act or whoever the fuck Fat Mike signs, it's sort of in that realm of you're gonna like if you like this shit, you're gonna like this shit.
Right. Yeah. It's done in a way that it's marketable to his audience or or label's audience or anything like that. So
Yeah,
I do like it. It's almost like nowadays where a lot of production places, because of the knowledge of them just spending years in studios and stuff and just knowing how to record and produce albums and things like that, I think a lot of times it's almost like a lot of older musicians are becoming just music producers slash curators.
yeah,
Like to say like this is a cool band that is in the same spirit as what we were doing, but are of a new generation. And I like something like that. So like Boundaries kind of sounds like one of those bands. It was kind of like how the Deviates were back in the day with Pennywise. I think they were almost like mentored by Pennywise, and they had a
oh,
very much Pennywise like sound, but I think too much. You know what I mean?
that's an interesting. I don't pay attention enough to like when I'm listening to music, it's a lot about I'm gonna listen to this and see how it makes me feel. But I
Mm.
don't look deep enough into like who produced it, where did they produce it, where they record it, and I think it might actually be sort of expand upon the experience and like my knowledge base if I look more to like who produced this shit
Dude,
because it's like I've definitely I bet you there's definitely been times where I'll listen to a band and I'll be like, oh, they kind of sound like this, and then if I looked up the producer I'd be like, oh, because he
that's
was in that band.
yeah, and that's crazy. That's so. This is the weirdest thing. One of my favorite metal bands, I think probably my favorite metal band of all time, Unearth, is has had they had this streak of albums like they were progressing again. They're a band that we've talked about in the past. Like we're just getting more and more brutal and better with age, which was like, what the fuck is going on? And so incredible. And then they put out one album that I was like, what the fuck is this?
It was real bad.
It was just like it was just so shitty. It was poorly. It felt like poorly produced. It felt like poorly like there was something different. So and this is something the reason I have to know why is this different? Why is this bad? What is going on? Why don't I like this the same way?
Yeah, yeah.
Why did I like 6 but not 7? What the fuck? So I go and I look and it's
Was
because
that
they got
because I think it was because 789.
Jesus Christ. That's the end of the show, guys. Thanks for listening. I can't top that.
Woo!
Woo! But
Podcasting.
podcasting. Oh, sorry.
Podcasting.
Canting over Zoom isn't great. But but like I feel like the fuck, what was the point I was just making? God damn it.
Why did Unearth's one album sound shitty?
Because they changed drummers.
Mm.
And then the next one was produced by a different person. It was
Well,
produced by the guitar player from Unearth, and he brought in the drummer, or sorry, not the guitar player from Unearth, the guitar player from fuck, I said it earlier, Killswitch Engage,
yeah.
and they used Killswitch Engage's drummer as their drummer.
That actually happened with speaking of drummers, that actually happened with Against Me.
Mm-hmm.
because it was kind of funny because I used to listen to Old Against Me and being like, dude, the drumming's so boring.
Yeah.
But then they got rid of their drum, and their current drummer's not bad,
Didn't they get
but
somebody from Hot Water Music?
Hot Water Music. I don't remember.
I'll look that up real quick.
I don't
So,
remember. Oh no, I got confused because I was gonna say Census Fails drummer, but I think that Census. I don't know if he's still with him, but at one point, one of Census Fails drummers went to Rancid, which I thought was really funny.
yeah.
But
So, Hot Water Music drummer George Rebello has joined Against Me, their newest drummer, replacing former drummer Warren Oakes, is the one you're talking about. Oakes recently left the band after a number of years to focus on his Mexican restaurant. I remember that. uh,
why is that?
because it's like, I fucking hate all this success. How's my Mexican restaurant doing? Hey, who burned that quesadilla? I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go.
I don't know, dude. I don't know how much money you're making in Early Against Me.
No, that's when they were. That's I remember. That's like when they started to hit. When they started to hit, he was like, "I'm out."
Even then though, you might not be bands might not be making as much money as you think.
Maybe he's super transphobic.
Maybe. Maybe just fucking
I'm not starting that rumor. I'm not starting that rumor. It's like, no. I just want my Mexican restaurant. That's all I'm concerned about. Like, we've never heard.
That'd be great. That'd be great too. Yeah.
Restaurant.
That'd be great too if like that was just his shitty lie. The lead singer comes out as trans and then he just magically is like, I have a Mexican restaurant I have to go to right now.
He uses the Trump defense. Are you against trans? I love Mexicans. I got a restaurant.
I got a restaurant. I have to go to my restaurant.
I have to go to my restaurant, guys.
So I remember when he was still in the band, I would listen. You'd be like, "Oh, the drumming's so fucking boring and shit like that." Because, like, if you listen to the song, what the fuck is it? What?
Every one of their songs. My Against Me was ruined for me very early on by a friend of mine when they pointed out the fact that they don't know how to end songs.
Yeah,
and it's usually this drummer guy you're talking about in particular that's just kind of like.
Well, if you listen, I remember the specific song. It was called "The Ocean." Yeah. Which sidebar? I think I told you about this, but I'll just repeat it for the podcast because it's so fucking funny. But in that song, the lead singer has a specific, and this is before she like publicly was like, "I'm trans." But she had this line in the song "The Ocean" where she was like, "If I had a choice, I would have been born a woman." And I remember being like, "I wonder what he means by that." Well, I wonder if that's like some subtle. I wonder if that's like some subtle fucking thing. And then the lead singer comes out as trans. I was like, oh, she just meant that.
Oh, that was just real. You just meant that.
That was just a statement. I was thinking there was some like weird symbolism.
Nope.
It's just like, no, I am a woman inside.
Yeah, that's just that guy Jane saying, "Hey, I want to be," or no, sorry. Wait, what was the guy's name?
Tom.
He changed his name to Jane.
Tom Iraq or something like that.
She changed her. Sorry. I'm sorry. Damn it.
Hey, I'm sorry.
God damn it.
Oh yeah, Thomas.
Fucking sorry.
Thomas James Gable. And then now she's known as Laura James Grace.
Laura Jane. Okay. Yeah, but Jane. Okay. I remember Jane. Like I was like, wait, Jane was the same. Yeah. All right. Laura Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
But
welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome.
But no, so when they got the new drummer had like a more traditional style of like punk rock drumming. That was punk / rock, not punk rock.
Yeah, I thought you were just putting emphasis punk rock drumming.
Punk rock drumming. But the drummer the drummer had and not that New Against Me is bad. There's actually a lot of newer Against Me songs that I really fucking like. I actually damn, I didn't know we were gonna talk about Against Me. I like that.
I didn't like Don't Lose Touch. They completely lost me at Don't Lose Touch. That was when I was like, what the fuck is this?
No, they dude, Transgender Dysphoria Blues is a really good album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I don't think it is. It's one of those things that like has nothing to do with trans anything. I don't give a shit. I don't think it's good. That's a shitty album. Sorry.
See, I fuck with that album. That album's fun. And then yeah, no, I thought but there was like a distinct shift in their sound because it almost like the fact that the original drummer's drumming was so bare bone. Oh, that was my thing with the Ocean. It's like the drum beat is literally like it's just like four on the floor with like eighth notes on the hi-hat, and then he would hit the and of two every measure, which is just a weird drum beat. Like it doesn't flow, but it does. It's like just an odd drum beat. And then when you get the newer drummer that has a slightly more, not complicated, but a little bit busier of a style, more traditional rock drumming, you start to realize you're like, oh, this all feels different now. The drumming actually had like it created a different personality to Against Me that you don't realize until it's gone.
Yeah, because I didn't get to see Unearth around that time, so like I didn't know if it translated to the live show or anything like that, or if maybe they just used somebody. But I definitely looked up what is different about this one compared to the other ones. And it was just kind of, and it was just one person. I think actually the drummer and the bass player. It's always a drummer and bass player in most bands I've noticed that seem to be the ones that get alternated the most.
Well, and this is actually a good segue into something I was the Blink 182 shit I wanted to ask you about, because after Blink put out this recent song, which you guys heard
you're gonna just immediately shit on my point. Well, how about the case of the drummer and the bass player kicking out the singer and guitar player?
No, that's not what that's not what I'm saying. I was gonna so like after like this new Blink song comes out, and it's just fucking big thick ass of a song.
Big old fat zero.
Just a big BBL of a fucking song.
Yeah, I'm a punk rock kid that charges $800 for you to see me.
But then I was like going back, and I'm like, let me double check, because I mainly listen to the Blink 182 songs that I like, and I'm like, let me double check that there's not a shit ton of, like, if this isn't par for the course for Blink 182. You get what I mean? Like I might have a skewed memory on Blink 182 because I only listen to the hits that I like.
Yes.
So I was going back to the like old shit. And I got to be honest, those first two albums, which are basically the same thing, besides Carousel, I don't need either of those albums. Dude Ranch, very good.
Yeah.
But what was it? Cheshire Cat and Buddha, they can keep those albums. I don't need them. I don't. You can give me the original recording of Carousel, and then you guys can keep the rest.
Yeah,
but
I think that's fair to say.
But then if you listen to Dude Ranch to fucking Enema of the State, that like Blink 182 is like the biggest example of how a drummer can really affect the band.
Yes.
Because like Dude Ranch is great, but the way that they shift and level up from Dude Ranch to Enema of the State, getting Travis Barker, is crazy. Now,
my favorite.
Truthfully, look, my last point though. Truthfully though, if you look on Enema, what?
I said I'll write it down.
But truthfully, if you listen to a big factor of Enema of the State is them getting on like a major label and stuff. And I guarantee you they had producers sort of being like, what if you guys do this? What if you guys do that? But at the same time, you gotta give a lot of props to Travis Barker for clearly having a huge effect on the sound of the album.
Yeah, I think the point I was gonna make is hold on, I want to make sure I'm right first. Yeah, I believe it is. Yes, my favorite going back to the Aquabats album is Fury of the Aquabats, which is the album that Travis Barker was the drummer for the Aquabats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, motherfucker gets around. So and that is, there's an energy, there is a perspective to musicians that you only see, like, I don't think people realize, and I think it's purely just the artistic lack of self-confidence that a lot of artists share, because really what it is for most musicians, most performers, almost every comedian, it's some lack of attention or love that we didn't get as a kid. We were talking about that earlier too, but that is absolutely what it is. So every performer, every artist has a perspective and has an ability, or has the potential to be a musician celebrity. There's very few musician celebrities. There's, going back in the day, we've talked about him much in the past, Louis Armstrong. There's like, that's the thing. Who the fuck cares if you play saxophone? Kenny G got a lot of people to give a fuck. Every professional saxophone player is probably as good as Kenny G, but they just don't have the fucking fucking swagger about him. You
Goofy
know what
ass
I mean?
hair and that weird saxophone clarinet he plays.
Right. The musicians, if you're a professional musician and you're doing it on a regular basis, you're
Yeah,
going to get to the point where you're as good as these other people, but you have to show it. You have to,
yeah,
like, now we have Questlove, we have Travis Barker, we have drummers that are like celebrities. They're fucking Kardashians. They're the Tonight Show band, for fuck's sake. Because of that. I didn't know who the fuck Max Weinberg was before he was on Conan.
yeah.
Now I know who the fuck Max Weinberg is, and he sucks. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Isn't he like a dickhead?
yeah, from what I've heard, yeah, he's a huge dickhead. But like, that's the point. Is you are known for your drumming, not your panache. You're not your personality. They say, hey, can you drum for this band? And then he goes, yeah, I can do
Yeah.
it. Just
Well,
like
that's the
Travis Barker, just like anybody else.
well, that's the thing. I think some musicians have that like aspiration to be more of a brand and a celebrity past just being a musician. But
Right.
to get there, that's why like people like I was thinking about this because Steph, my wife, she's listening to I guess Kim Kardashian has this podcast, but
Cool.
it's actually like the one thing she does in life that isn't just like dog shit that degrades the moral compass of society. Like
Right. Right.
everything she does just makes us dumber as people and worse of a society. But
Right.
this one podcast, because it's like it's centered around wrongful convictions and all this shit. So like Kim Kardashian honestly did it the reverse way. Like you look at someone like Flavor Flav, like he came up in this like dope political rap group that did like, you know, with him and Chuck D, and
Yeah.
they fought for all the right stuff and all this other shit. And then Flavor Flav just transitions into being like a fucking vapid reality show
Yeah.
host. Kim
He just
Kardashian did it the exact opposite way. She did all the like fucking just dumb shit that, like I said, makes us dumber as a society. And now she's like, oh, I'm just helping release people from jail who've been wrongfully convicted. And your reaction is to be like, you still, oh, wait.
yeah.
Oh, that's
Immediately.
great. That's
Yeah,
the
it's like you
best.
fucking
You dumb
cool.
fucking, wait a minute.
Nice of you.
That's, but yeah, no, a lot of times, like Kim Kardashian's she goes contrary to the thing, but the main thing is basically like Travis Barker. He had to prove himself to be like an outstanding drummer. Like you said, he's in the Aquabats. That's their best album. He fucking goes to Blink 182. He turns them into a substantially better mainstream band. He fucking does these songs with rappers and they fucking rule and shit like that. He actually has a song with Run the Jewels, and it's one of their best songs. You know what I mean?
I honestly, some of my favorite fucking music, and this is not hyperbole. Some of my favorite shit to listen to is him and DJ AM. Like,
Yeah, that shit was fun.
that was incredible. Like I know it's just like it's basically just cover band shit, but like it's cool
Here,
shit. Like it was well produced, like cool sets. I don't know if it was just sets that they recorded or
I'll
how
say this
much
about
production went into it, but it was great.
I'll say this about the mashups and shit, because people love to sort of, because I was a big girl talk fan back in the day, and people
Me
love
too,
to
man. But then they got married and I got the old ball and chain now. It's like I can't.
talk to girls.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
Old ball and chain now, but hey, anyway.
Fucking stupid wife.
Fucking wife is always like, "What? Why you clean the garage?" And I'm like, "Come on.
We don't have one, you don't
Why don't you
bitch.
stop shopping?" It's fun. But you go
So
on, yeah.
a lot, like so I was a big girl talk fan back in the day, and people like conceptually it's simple. You take like a rock oriented song and you put a rapper over top of it, or you take a rap beat and you put a rock song over that.
Right.
It's conceptually simple, but it's
Match the
the
tempo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, these songs, oh, this works perfectly together. They
Another
magically have
one
the same
does bite the
tempo.
dust. That's a good point.
Yeah, so and that like it's conceptually a simple thing, but like actually doing the work and picking the thing to go over the right other fucking thing, it's
Yeah.
like it takes a little bit of it takes a little I feel like it's more of knowing which thing what's the right thing to pick, you know what I mean, in the
Yeah.
right order and shit like that.
And then even doing it live. Like to me, that's the coolest shit is just like jamming with songs as like and actually doing it in an entertaining way and having the kind of again, I think their second release was like they're both free. And actually I might dig those up because
DJ AM and Travis Barker.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the second
I
one
haven't
was them live somewhere.
I haven't listened to that in forever. I
I know
remember
it's
because I
fucking
was
good as
like,
shit.
I was big into Travis. I mean, I'm still a Travis Barker fan. His Rogan's actually really fucking. I saw a clip from it randomly on social media. His Rogan's really fucking good.
And his album, speaking of this, I think this was more of what I was like talking about as far as being like a music celebrity is like Travis Barker is now a celebrity
Yeah,
musician. Like he's gotten to the point where like he's in movies for fucking some reason. You know what I mean? Like there's like I mean like I'm sure there are cameos and shit like that, but like you know like he'll guest star on a TV show and it's like why? Because he's a fucking famous musician. But his album, I think it's called Give the Drummer Some.
yeah.
Also another one he does a lot of he does a song with like Busta Rhymes and Twista shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like it's like to me it's his diversity and his like overall like the fact that I think the point you brought up of him coming in at enema of the state and not like completely changing the band but in a way completely changing their like appearance. Not even I don't even know how to put it. Like they changed the identity for sure, but like he it's so funny that he's in a band like that and doesn't seem like he ever jokes about farts or pee or like boners or anything like
Oh,
that.
his
But he is
energy,
like he fits in that band so well. You know what I mean? Like he makes them so much better. Like for some reason,
his
no matter what
energy,
else he does, that seems like his band.
yeah, his energy is diametrically opposed to fucking
Everything.
what?
Everything that they do. Like he's
Everything
not
having to
fucking
do
around
with
with
Blink 182.
aliens. He doesn't
Yeah.
give a fuck about like at least he doesn't like portray that. You know what I mean? I don't know if for some reason he gets along perfectly with them. Must
Yeah.
in some way, but it's interesting. So I think with what's his face coming back, Tom DeLonge coming back and shit like that, that I again I wasn't somebody that listened to him a lot during the Skiba years, so I don't know. Do you think that maybe the rest of the album is going to be really great
Well,
now that
okay.
Tom's
So
back?
before we get into that, I want to know what did you think about edging?
Oh, I hated it. I
Yeah,
thought it
it
was terrible.
stunk, right?
Yeah, it just felt like a weird formulaic like all right, well, we'll just give it doesn't feel like they're doing at this point, I think I'm okay with them just doing whatever the fuck they want to do at this point,
Yeah.
but just do it together.
Yeah, I
I think
think
that's
they're
what everybody
still
wants. People don't want what like I don't think they've ever sounded like that. That sounds like MXPX. They've never sounded like MXPX to me. They were
yeah,
faster,
the
like
yeah, I
not
think I
faster
think
all.
I
Yeah.
said this on last episode, I think, but like the choruses kind of had a Blink vibe to it, but it felt devoid of any sort of like passion.
And this kind of brings up a
It
point
just
of
felt utterly uninspired.
uninspired, I think is a perfect way to put it. But I think there's a way with the way to kind of like maybe recalibrate them, and which I would be okay with, is if they re-recorded Carousel and Cheshire Cat, or sorry, not Carousel, Buddha and Cheshire Cat. Why can't I talk right now? Even Dude Ranch, but re-record them with Travis Barker.
Wait, why do you want that?
Like just it would solve the problem that you had with them not being the same thing, and it would help get them back into like, yeah, I remember what this was like.
Yeah,
These
I don't
guys,
know.
you know, might, and then you can give your perspective of the new album. Write what you want to write, but like, if I don't know how much they've actually like gotten together. We were talking about this a little bit before about how much of a conglomerate kind of like Blink 182 is now, and how much it's business, and how when we were talking about the Matt Skiba and possibly Tom DeLonge coming back,
Yeah.
we don't know what the structure is, but I think we can tell by them releasing this song that they didn't really like come back together. You know what I mean? Like it's not there's not a lot of emotion or feeling or
Yeah, there's all
it
so
doesn't sound like them. Like it doesn't
yeah. I mean,
sound
I'm I might like shift my general opinion on it when like more music comes out,
right.
but based off this first recording, it does like this whole and like I was even mentioning in the music video, they brought back their old rabbit logo and there were
Yeah.
referencing all that shit and like
Sounds
lyrically lyrically, it sounded like fucking Tom DeLonge was trying to be like, what sounds like an old Blink song.
Yeah, it sounds like a cash grab to me.
Yeah,
That's what it sounds
it
like.
based off this one song. It
Yes.
sounds like they're kind of going they're going into this with purely financial
Let's sell
goals.
some merch. Let's sell some tickets. Let's make some fucking money like a motherfucker, and then we'll go on from there. Like I wouldn't put too much stock into this album. If this is a true like connection of the band and they're going to continue now.
Yeah.
But as far as I think this is kind of them almost doing a farewell tour, but without saying it. Or maybe they're keeping that open. You have the
Um
you
I
don't
don't
think
think they're
so?
doing a I don't think they're doing a farewell tour. I think they're kind of doing what Green Day's doing now. Have you listened to recent Green Day?
Yeah.
It's all just really fine. Actually, no, they did have actually Green Day did have one album that was some of the worst garbage I've ever heard.
It was their most recent. I know I hated their most recent single,
What
or
was
at
it?
least maybe it's not their most recent, but the last one.
Yeah, no. So
What's it called?
American Idiot was pretty good. Then like that sort of shifted their thing. And then
Yeah.
21st Century Breakdown was like fine, but it all sounded like extra American Idiot songs. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And then they did this like Uno Dos Tre where it was like the Ramones doing Queen songs almost, if that makes any sense. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
which is good on paper, but like generally speaking, the whole thing was just like it was just like basically since 21st Century Breakdown, Green Day's just been a big pile of like pretty good.
Yes.
And then Revolution Radio got a little bit better, but then they came out with Father of All Motherfuckers, which on its face, you're just like, because they're all fucking 40. And like the album's called Father of All Motherfuckers. And there's like a puking unicorn on the cover. And you're like, oh, you're going for a thing.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
you're going for, and dude, I listened to it. It's like the most garbagey, like college garage rock you've ever heard in your fucking life. So I think Blink 182 is sort of shifting in to something kind of like that. I don't know if this album like I'm not convinced this album's going to be a big hype and pile of garbage. I just it feels like they're going to be a little uninspired for the rest of their career now.
Yeah. I gotcha. So it's kind of like
Cuz like there's no
they're
sorry,
phoning it in now.
well, yeah, because it's like financially, there's no reason for them to do the band except to
Right.
just get more money for them to retire.
Right.
Or whatever the fuck. They don't need to retire. They all have a shit ton of money, but like this is just to be like, all right, let's just fucking get as much money out of this as we can. We're not going to give them a shitty product, but it's not going to have that like it's probably not going to have that energy of earlier Blink releases.
You know how they can kind of solve this, and the Foo Fighters were doing it before they had the drummer pass away. But it's have fans come up or fans or kid fans come up and play an instrument with the band during this. You know what I mean? So let's go play. Oh, let's play. What's the one? Yeah, Aliens Exist, something like that. Hey, mom. You know what I mean? Like you're just kind of like you're fuck. Is your mom still alive? You know what I mean? Like you're an older gentleman. It's okay if she's not. That's I'm not judging, but like there's certain things where like punk rock high school and fucking hey man, let's have like some like almost like a high school musical, and you guys can still sing the song, but like you don't even have you can kind of phone it in. Like Foo Fighters will have a person come out and they'll be like, well, like I saw a video of this little fucking kid and he gives him his guitar and he's like, how you doing, Billy? Oh, but the kid they already played the song that the kid knows by the Foo Fighters. So he's like, just play something that you know. And they just started playing Enter Sandman. It's like, yeah. Nice. So yeah, just have kids come up and play your instruments, give them the fucking experience because now you're in that phase. You're not in the new music phase. You're in the live performance phase.
That's a really good point.
Just go out there and just do that. Because Foo Fighters haven't put out a good album in a long time.
And actually, to that notion, that's what Green Day's been doing, and I think it's working well for them. They're
that's
like
what reminded me of it, yeah. Because
they're like everyone.
He gets him his guitar and he goes, "Go for it," and then he does it, and he just kind of has fun watching him do it. Because they all have kids, they all understand that this is a huge deal. They know that they're celebrities. They're not just gee shucks, I'm just a guy that's come out of his mom's basement. It's not that anymore.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
They
Go
all have
out there,
mansions.
be celebrities. Go be stars. Go be role models.
Yeah.
You can do it.
So wait, did you
Sorry.
are you what's you think this album is just gonna be fine, right?
It's just gonna be. I don't think it'll be good. I think people will like they're gonna put out this thing. They're gonna say, hey, look, we can still put out a release. They may put out more new music, but I really think it'll be just right now, not even necessarily a money grab. I think they're gonna go out and go have some TikTok videos go viral. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they're gonna go have a little kid come up and go, shit, piss, fuck, and they're gonna go, what? The little kid's cursing right now. Oh my god, who taught you that? This is my kid. You know what I mean? Like one of those things, and the parent gets to post it, and the kid gets to go on Ellen, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a great time. You know,
Ellen's like,
just
what
do
was
that.
it like saying shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker in front of that many people? And the little
Yeah.
kid's like, it was
It
really
was really great. They already played the Descendants song that I know on guitar, so I figured I would play. You know, it's just like it's you, and not that you're like this is, and now this is the thing where I think when I was growing up, I think Kiss were that was Kiss's prime. Like Kiss when they were in the 70s, that's when they were like building the reputation and getting the celebrity and stuff. But when I was a kid, like they were still touring and stuff, but they were just going out and they're fucking playing the hits. They're fucking signing autographs, charging a fuck ton of money for a meet and greet. Yeah, go out there and get your money, but also, be good example, like be good to the children and to the fans and all that shit like that. Like this is your opportunity to go be heartwarming.
be a responsible kitty cat and devil.
Yeah, but just don't sing about high school anymore, dude, because now it's getting weird.
Well, I actually had a theory about that with Blink 182. I think I said it in the video where I was like, did they just get the best pussy of their life in fucking high school? Because at no age will Blink 182 stop fucking singing about high school.
Yeah.
But then if you
think
about it, like pop punk and emo is a very, you talk about love and emotions and all this shit. And fucking high school was the last time they were normal people.
Yeah.
So I think that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, maybe that was the last time they had like an experience. Because now, if they're talking about, they're like, when your private jet runs out of fuel and you gotta make an emergency landing. It's like, oh yeah, your day's just not going right, dude. I had a personal appearance that I want. Like, all right.
Cool. I didn't get the kombucha that I liked.
I liked the other kind, so I fired that guy.
I turned vegan recently. It's hard to keep that up on the road when your assistant doesn't get you the right stuff.
But anyway, you know what I mean? Like cool. Put like, and then boom, look, I'm sorry, dude, but if Blink-182 put out that song for real, actually did that song with those lyrics, that's something I would go, fuck yeah, dude. They're back. They get it. They're not real people. They understand they're not real people anymore.
Dude, that's my whole argument for it's like, yo, stop demonizing rich people. Because if you guys keep doing that, they'll be more relaxed and they'll tell us more of their secrets.
Right.
And I actually do find it fascinating. I will say this, like to someone who's worth like millions of dollars, I actually do. It's not that I sympathize with them or whatever. Although I do think everyone can have a bad day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone can have a bad day. We all some people sit down in nicer chairs to deal with their bad day. You know what I mean? Like we all have. That's what I realized getting older. It's like, yeah, we've all had the same type of bad days. We just have comfier seats to deal with our bad days than other people.
Right. That's all it is. It's just about comfier chairs.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only difference.
That's all it is. That's why that's why my point about religion. Religion, all it is just a bunch of hats. That's all it is.
I will not let your autism diminish my good point. But what the fuck was I saying?
Yes, you will.
No, I won't. Fucking taking me literal, you piece of shit. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, no, I'm very curious where I'm just like, yeah, dude, I want to know someone who's worth millions of dollars. Like, what's their like a little annoying thing during the day?
Yeah, what frustrates you? Like, because you still have families. Like, you still like have things that go on, but you just don't. You're so in the limelight. You don't want all that personal stuff out, so you keep it silent. So you go like, "Whoa, what was the last thing I feel comfortable sharing?" Oh, this one time in high school, I was in the bathroom and this girl fucking jerked me off, and I was like, "Cool."
Well, it's also actually, yeah, to bring it back to Blink 182, it's like, well, it's like when you write music, you got to be relatable. Well, it's like
Right.
when have they ever been relatable? Well, it was only when they were in high school.
Right. I think that's the greatest point as far as like there is now if you want to, it's not that you can't be you or write punk songs. You can still write fucking punk songs. Just write fucking punk songs about your
Yeah.
experience. That's what we want to know.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just gonna keep reiterating the same.
Or they're
Andy, how do you feel about that point?
or they're secret Hollywood Democratic elite pedophiles who just are obsessed with kids. But it's
Jeez,
probably the first one.
tell us, okay, you wrote about aliens existing. Now we actually believe you. Tell
Show
us
us the
where.
aliens.
Show us the bodies.
All right. Since we're talking about super relatable people, let's move on to Kanye West.
Oh, totally relatable. Only mainly opinion wise, but other than that, I mean, I feel like
So,
instant.
um, I was talking to Pat about Kanye because I saw this Vanity Fair article, which actually, so originally I saw the Vanity. I got to give Vanity Fair props because I saw this article and I thought they were going to be very cringy and annoying, but I got to the end of the article and they are actually gave out a really good opinion. I was very impressed by Vanity Fair because they posted this one article saying it was basically like, should Kanye, because of, and we all know what Kanye's been up to, he's been goofing around a little too much.
Being
And
a real knucklehead out there saying some stuff.
saying some saying some stuff coming to did it what
I feel like I can't honestly say it because even if you put this out immediately, it's still not. I have to just be that vague because they were like, "Yep, he was saying some stuff about," and then insert mermaids. He was saying stuff about police officers.
Oh yeah, here's the article from Vanity, or I'm sorry, Variety. That's why I was getting it fucked up. I was
Greek
trying to
people.
find it. But it said, should Kanye West music be banned? And I actually got to the end of the article and they had a very interesting point where it's a hard what the fuck am I trying to say? Well, so I guess my personal opinion in general, where this whole thing where it's like the artist did a bad thing, we should get rid of their music. And I just, generally speaking, I'm like, that's a bad precedent to set. I
Yeah.
don't agree with that. You know what I mean?
Because it gives the power to good or bad opinions. Like it says that there is a right and wrong in every single scenario.
Say that again.
It's essentially, I think what you're saying is you're saying like opinions or things, like having an opinion one way or another makes you a good or bad person.
Yeah, and it's well, it's also this weird thing too, where once you start doing it, like once you start doing this thing with Kanye, then you start going like, all right, then it kind of sets like a bad precedent. Then we have to start looking at it's like, all right, do we then take away all of then we got to take away all of R. Kelly songs. Then we got to take away all of Michael Jackson songs. And then I think Elvis married a kid. So then we have to like start taking away all this Elvis songs, all these like Elvis songs and shit like that. So it just creates this like bad precedent where you're like, oh, just because someone did a dumb thing, now we're not allowed to like check out all their stuff. And I also think, generally speaking, because here's my thing with Kanye. Here's my real theory on why Kanye's fucking popping off. I think he had a couple Jewish people in his life screw him over, and he's pretty unstable as a guy. Like, listen to his Lex Friedman podcast. That's like one of the funniest parts about all this shit. Where if like listen to that Lex Friedman podcast he was on, and you start hearing him, and you're like, this guy, because I hate to just take the easy way out and to be like, Kanye's fucking crazy. We shouldn't listen to anything he has to fucking say. Fuck that guy. But he also is a dude that's like, there's a lot more going on with this guy. Like, he can't, like, if you listen to him in interviews, it's fucking hard to listen to him in interviews. He can't finish a fucking thought. You know what
Dude,
I'm saying? Like, he
that
can't.
this is the point that I've been making for years is that he has sounded like that to me for years. since his mom died, since his mom passed away, every fucking interview I hear with him, he just rambles. He doesn't answer questions, and it doesn't seem like he's connected to reality. And
Bro,
that is not a judgment. That is just an observation that I've noticed of the fact that like he is someone who is admittedly a diagnosed mentally ill person.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so there's like a point where like I where I grew up, there was a lot of homeless mentally ill people. Like where in my like in Pinellas County, every place I would go to, there was somebody that would you'd start a conversation with them and you're like, they're like, yeah, you know what? This is a person hard out in their luck. They just need some help. And then they just start going. And then they don't, then you actually think about it, you put it together, and none of what they're saying is connecting. And they actually kind of sound like very rambly.
Well,
And you go, oh, I think this person does need help, but I don't know if I can actually just help them.
yeah. Well, because it is at a at a
Crazy
certain
people aren't evil, but I hate when crazy people make their crazy your problem. And
well,
that's
and it
exactly what I
also
think is happening.
yeah, and dude, the one thing that's making me laugh is because, like you said, dude, I remember when Kanye. Do you remember Kanye did his like big Ellen interview?
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching that, and I got like most of the way through, and I'm like, what the fuck
What did
is
he just
he
say?
talking
What
about?
is he saying?
People have this like people have this weird misconception about Kanye. Like, it's just this given that like Kanye's a genius, Kanye's a genius, and it's like, no,
He's a talented
Kanye.
musician and performer.
Well,
That's what he is.
Kanye is a really good fucking producer, and then people will be like, he's a great rapper, and it's like
He's a
even
great
with his
producer.
even with his rapping, it's like, bro, he's hired a million people to help him rap. Dude, listen to his old shit versus his new shit, where he was doing a lot more of the writing on his new shit. You can hear a big difference in the lyrical content. Like, what was one of the later songs? I think it was on Life of Pablo, where he's like, if I fuck this model, she gonna oh no, she just bleached her asshole. And if I fuck this model, I'm gonna get bleach on my t-shirt, and then I'm gonna feel like an asshole. And you're like, yeah, you should probably hire writers again, dude. And
Right.
then, so like, and you go, no, Kanye is an amazing producer, and he's really good at tricking morons into paying $75 to $100 for a fucking Gildan t-shirt.
Okay.
And
Speaking,
then, but then, sorry, my last point is then people kind of go like, people have this weird. I think this speaks to like a like the outrage at Kanye speaks to this bigger problem people have of like, bro, they like celebrities that they like turn into this Swiss Army knife of greatness for
yeah.
them, where it's like, no, you can be a fucking, like you can be a really great music producer, but when it comes to your ability to process who runs the world, you can kind of fuck that up.
Yeah. And not to mention, like, you only get so many years, like, no matter what, nobody can stay on the very tippy top forever. It
Yeah.
doesn't fucking happen. You were an incredible celebrity that a lot of people gave a lot of leeway to for a lot of the things that he would say, and that or did. Like that's the thing is there was a lot of if I may enabling from his celebrity, and it was very much a king has new. Was it the king has new clothes?
No
Emperor has new
clothes.
clothes. It's like that kind of thing of like everybody was when he'd say he's a genius, they go, "Yeah, you're a genius." Like they
Yeah.
just love his personality or his energy or whatever it is, but it fed into a mental illness and a
Yeah.
delusion of invincibility of genius, and like that's the thing is there I don't know. I have never known of a perfect person in my entire life.
No. Well, and
At all. Ever of somebody that is fully perfect in every way. And I haven't known any geniuses in my opinion, but also I think genius, just like any goat conversation in any sport or any competition, is generational and it's subjective.
yeah.
So, so, but I will say this: I don't know of any geniuses that have ever said that they were a genius. So, I think my point is essentially, I don't think that Kanye is evil or bad. I think because I think evil and bad people, there's a difference. Uh, uh, Kanye is just mentally ill and he does crazy stuff every once in a while, or a
Yeah,
lot
I
more now. And I feel like when you're mentally ill, you are a hashtag. when you're evil, you're like people are changing their profile pictures.
Well,
You
when
know what I mean?
and also too, when like that, like kind of what you're saying is a big thing. It goes into a big thing I always think about, where it's like you guys got to understand the source. Because if you
Yes.
look at a dude like Kanye, who is like one of the most, like with this whole "I'm a genius" thing, he's like one of the most self-centered guys in the world. He's like one of the most egotistical guys in the world, like the big narcissist, biggest ego in the fucking world. It would, you kind of got to like go the step by step in his head, where it's like you could see this dude where it's like, God forbid he has a couple of people who happen to be Jewish in his
Yeah.
life fuck him over, and then he could take the next step to be like, well, wait, everyone's looking at me, there must be a whole conspiracy of like trying to
Yeah.
take me down, rather than these people just happen to be Jewish, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then, dude, like, you gotta look at the source. Like, I was reading this article fucking yesterday where Kanye's like talking to TMZ, and he's like, so I just read the definition of anti-Semitic the other day, and I'm starting to realize where I goofed up. And it's like, oh, like here's the like, when Kanye does dumb shit, he does it very loud and publicly because he thinks he's the fucking man and he thinks he's really smart. When we do dumb shit, we do it quietly in private. It's like, and I'm not saying like, it probably would be smart for Kanye to be like, yo, I done goofed up. You know what I mean? And all this other shit, but it's like you got to mind the source and um start realizing like where it's coming from, and the guy that you're dealing with. And back to what we were saying earlier, it's like this big misconception people have that Kanye is a top to bottom genius, so they fucking put him at this different level of criticism than
Yeah.
anyone else. It's like,
And
no, dude, you shouldn't.
and that's my point. That's why I think this is where I think my take comes in of why I think in this case, taking down his music or anything, taking and not allowing him to have his music on streaming or whatever it may be, is absolutely because you're deplatforming him from those platforms. He is not by any means somebody who is hard out for fucking exposure. He can go at this point still. He is still, even though he's been saying the things he's been saying, has still been on multiple podcasts, on multiple. Everybody's getting their
Oh,
little bit
because
from
no
him. And
matter no
this very
matter
much reminiscent of Britney Spears when she had that breakdown with the fucking umbrella and shit.
yeah,
That's when I was like, I think we need to stop. And I think what needs to happen is all of the platforms that he's been given to express his thoughts, whether however you feel about them, is he does have the right to have those thoughts and to
yeah,
share those thoughts. But given the platform that he is given, dude, I am telling you 100%. Any like yes, you and me, schmoes. No, whatever. You know what I mean? Let's just say I'm trying to think of like a good like if Will Smith had said this shit. Do you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be a question. I feel like people would go like, I think that's kind of crazy, right? Like, isn't that a little weird? Do you know what I mean? Or if anybody, like, I'm saying that any other person, let's say a musician, Dave Grohl said some shit like that. I don't think there'd be a question about taking his music down. Do you know what I mean? I don't think, but because it's Kanye, for some reason, we're like, I don't know. Should we? Like, dude, he's saying like straight up,
well, there has been a
he's
thing.
like he's like saying words like declaring war or like he's saying what, DEFCON
DefCon
3?
3.
I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jews. I'm not anti-Semitic, but I'm going to say anti-Semitic shit. Like, I think it just needs to be like, and if he wants to start his own social media thing, like he bought Truth or what did he buy? Something from Candace Owens or whatever. Truth Mobile or what is that?
Parlor.
Parlor. That's what it is. Truth Mobile.
Truth
Boost
Mobile.
Mobile. He bought Boost Mobile or something. But like he that's the thing is like that's why I don't feel like no, don't deplatform Kanye because he has his own fucking platform that he can go and spread whatever shit he wants to and people can go there and look at it. I think he absolutely has the freedom to do that. But if Spotify's like and this isn't in a sense that like you're banned forever, like
Yeah.
get your shit together and we're gonna he's not writing songs about hating Jews. He's not writing, you know what I mean? Like it's not like he's I don't think he's an evil person. I think, but in
Yeah.
this case, everybody needs to stop with this shit and stop going like, what's going on? Like we're doing it right now, but we're not. I wouldn't if he said I want to be on. You know what? I would do it too because I'm an evil, stupid person. I was just about to deface somebody for saying why would you have him on your show? Because you know what? I would too. If he said, guys, I want to come to Drag the Lake and share my thoughts, but I don't know if I would just sit there and go like and not go what what are you
Yeah, I
saying?
don't know. I do think I will say this. I do,
Not about giving him the platform. It's about not saying, what are you talking about?
well, yeah,
What are you fucking saying?
I would more say I would more say like if you're a bigger outlet and Kanye wants to come on, I'd be like, no, dude, like it actually might be irresponsible for him because it's like the dude needs to chill the fuck
He needs
out
to
and
chill
like
out.
get like I don't know, like go see a therapist and like because here's my thing. It's not about the like with the Kanye thing, it's just about the I don't know what it is exactly. It's just kind of like the way he expresses himself.
Yeah.
He fuck,
Too publicly.
I'm getting caught up. I'm getting kind of like fumbled up on what I'm trying to say. I lost my train of thought.
I,
I would just say with cuz like here's the I've definitely had like have you ever done that thing where you like feel big emotions about something, then you kind of like sit with it and think about it, and then you're kind of like, oh yeah, no, I was kind of like wrong on that.
yeah.
I think Kanye needs to just like chill the fuck out and kind of have a little bit more of
It's too reactionary. It's like, I have this feeling I have to share it.
well, he kind of goes through like every single thought he's ever had publicly.
Yeah. 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 Like it's almost like it's almost like going back to the beginning of the show where we're talking about like he's not getting to his point sooner with like because that's the thing is like maybe some thoughts get through the anti-Semitic realm but they come back out, you know what I mean? And then you form your opinion, you're like, you know what, actually at one point, because that was the thing, was this is a great example of it. White privilege. I never every time I heard white privilege I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think most probably people thought like I was poor and I had a pretty shitty, like I didn't have a lot growing up, but then you go, oh, what is it? It's actually this. It's where you don't have this thought of this, or you don't have this feeling of this, of like, whether I agree with white privilege or not, I didn't understand what they were saying. And my
Okay.
first point was like, no, I don't feel privileged, you idiot. And it was kind of like, no, no, the privilege is not the life that you had. It's the fact that it's your perspective. The perspective is the privilege, not your experience necessarily. It's your perspective in a lot of cases. You didn't have this to have to worry about, or you didn't have this, or you didn't think this way. Where I don't think that's something that you can blame somebody for, but not being aware of it, you can go like, you can get it fucked up a lot of times. But when he's talking about going DEFCON 3 or DEFCON 3 on Jews, or that Jews did all, and that's what I was saying, as I actually tried to look up I tried to look up Kanye West's comments, and all it is what's going on with Kanye? How's Kanye doing? And here's my
Yeah. Well,
here's like,
that kind of goes into another point I wanted to touch too,
what did he say?
where it's like I think with the reaction to Kanye, I do think you know, it's like the reaction to Kanye is also annoying me too because I actually did like look into like the things Kanye was saying, and you're like first off, if you're gonna have a dude who's believing this crazy shit, the thing not to do is to just like completely try to unperson him. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah,
take away because it's like, what's his reaction gonna be? He's gonna be like,
he's
see,
gonna
I was
double down.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
said this shit about them, and now
And that
all this
goes,
shit happened to me. And on the other hand, too, it's like I look at it and I go, what he's saying isn't actually that hard to kind of like point out. It's dumb. You know what I mean? Like
that's my point, is like,
like if you look because a lot of people get caught up on the Jewish thing because there happens to be a lot of Jewish people in power, and you're just like they're people who are Jewish. It's not like this Jewish cabal, yada yada yada, this
Right,
and
right.
that.
It's not like
And that's
it's not like they're checking the tip of your dick before you come in to work. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
Well, you know what the irony too is? You know what the irony too is when people say all this shit about the Jews, it's like, have you guys read a fucking history book?
yeah,
It's actually, if you're so fucking mad that there's Jews in power, it's like you should be mad at your fucking ancestors. Because
right.
like I
Yeah,
was reading, I think it was not Sam Harris. He was that. I think Sam Harris was that. Oh no, Malcolm Gladwell. He had this great book called Outliers, and he had this part in the book where apparently, like back in the day, because like the Jews have been shitted on all through history,
yeah.
and back in the day when they were like figuring out money and stuff, people were like, "Ew, we don't like this money; it's dirty. Let's give it to those Jews we don't like." And then so the Jews started working with the money in like ancient civilizations, and just over time, and then just like them getting fucked with all the time, they sort of developed into these like, yo, we gotta fucking be the shit.
Right. And that's the
And
thing.
we
It's
gotta
like,
fucking kill it and all this stuff. So through that, you've had Jewish people in these like exceptional positions and shit like that. But it's like I also look at it too when you get up to these higher levels, dude. I don't think it matters about race or ethnicity. I think it matters about like sociopath or not. Like when you get into the upper echelon of the elite and stuff like that,
yeah,
I could give a fuck about their race or ethnicity. It's more about like, are you a sociopath that think you can run the world in this and that, or are you a normal human being that actually has compassion for people?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just like, that was my other thing with Kanye is like the shit he was saying was so dumb and easily proven to like be dumb.
Yeah, and that's my point is it comes down to temper tantrum behavior when like or not being able to structure your thoughts the way, or maybe you don't have a fucking opinion on something. It happens sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like when he's asked of something, he needs to like uh, the 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 reality he's been shown has been that he thinks he's his own kind of Jesus. You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's the thing is like it hasn't been that he hasn't hidden his mental illness up until now, and that's the point is now when you are doing this, that's a great point you made about like you can't deplatform him in that case necessarily. That's what I'm saying is like you can't just shut him down. You can stop giving him outlets, but you can't just shut it down
Yeah.
because it's one of those things where whether it be a mental breakdown from like a celebrity or an actual mental illness that is manifesting to this level, I feel like you can't play into his delusions, but it doesn't matter because no
Mm-hmm.
matter what, all he's doing is reactionary things. And I'll go back to even what he said because that's the thing is people say like, oh, nobody talked about this when this is what's known as a final straw because they're like they weren't saying this when he was saying slavery was a choice. They're not saying this when he was saying this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but they also didn't. Everybody celebrated when he rushed the stage for Taylor Swift. Everybody was like, "This is the best thing in the world." I thought that was the part where I was like, "What are you doing, dude? Stop!" You look. If you are a celebrity and we're doing the celebrity thing, you have to understand there's some kind of rules to this. But it has been, if you're talking about the reason people, thousands of years ago, people being put in charge of money and stuff like that, this is, I think, part of it. It's him being encouraged to do crazy, impulsive things. So when he said shit like slavery is just a choice, I think honestly in his mind he was saying that like a motivational speaker, like he was fucking
Yeah, no, I
you know,
agree. I
like
agree.
he
I
was
think
just
he
like
was
it's
trying
just
to.
in your mind, man. You can't be enslaved anymore. It's just a choice.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Kanye, that one made me laugh because I was like, I think I know where he's coming from.
Yeah,
Where
but it's
he's
also
like,
like
where
you
it's
can't
that sort of.
say that.
Well, no, it's that sort of thing where you're like, I think you're trying to say that as
Right.
common men and women, like we can actually rise up against like the higher forces or like whatever the fuck. But then when he phrases it in a way where he's like, no,
It
American
was
slavery was a choice. And you're like, I don't think that's what it was, Kanye.
yeah, I don't agree with you. You know what I mean? But that's the thing is,
I think you had a bunch of people scared and in a country they didn't recognize, and then they had a bunch of other people with guns telling them what to do.
right. And that's unfortunate because I think,
Dude, that
like I said,
slavery was a choice. They was so goddamn like it was funny because of how stupid it was. Because you're like, dude, you think through it, and you're like, okay, let's say they take over the fucking plantation.
right.
Then where do they go? It's like the next town over is gonna find out that a bunch of like slaves took over the plantation, and then they're gonna get fucked up. You're
So
like,
you mixed his existing mental illness with a 2-year shutdown, a divorce, his fucking this guy's publicly railing your wife and laughing in your face about it. And he's gonna break, and he's gonna get to the point where now he's like an android that only speaks in clickbait, and all he does is just go, Jews are responsible. He's Mel Gibson in it. It's like none of this stuff is none of this is manifesting into, like, I don't think he's gonna call a war against Jews. I don't think he's truly anti-Semitic. I think this is another thing manifesting to this, but been a thing that you guys, unfortunately, a lot of people have been celebrating him for. Isn't it so much fun when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people? That was, you know what I mean? Like, and it was like, yeah, that was a pretty wild moment. Not a lot of people got hurt. He made a point. It was a political statement. Cool. You know what I mean? And then he's just like, oh, you like that? Well, watch this. And he goes like, give me that award. Just kidding. I'm going to let you finish. Goodbye. And everybody goes, yay.
I'll say this.
And then it just continues to go. But as he's gone, he's made it he is Teflon now. Anybody that goes, I agree with what he said. White lives matter. Yeah, bud. No, that was just a statement. I don't know anymore, man. I don't know what any of this is even conscious anymore. I don't know what is. I have no idea what's going on in his brain, and it's not because I think he's got so much genius rolling around in there that it's. I think he's severely manic, and I think he needs to be medicated, and I think deplatformed for a portion of time, only for a little timeout, so he can get his dye changed and get a little powder on his butt, and he can go, Kanye, you are so special. You are a great person. We do love you. We do. And we want the best for you, buddy. Okay? Okay. So let's get back out there. Come on, bud.
Well, I'll say this on the whole like deplatforming and stuff like that. I think for the precedent that it sets, like I would say for Kanye, it will be better for him to just like fuck off and chill out, because he is manic, and he is making a lot of like a lot of rash decisions and all this stuff for that. But for the precedent that it sets, like I was saying with the fucking taking his music off, deplatforming people over just not saying something you don't agree with and this and that. Like it goes back to the thing I heard fucking Rogan saying, and I know it's like a cliched thing, but a lot of cliches happen because they're, factual. But it's like I always think the best. It's like I look at it with like I always think the best thing for, it's like Rogan was saying, the best thing for bad speech is good speech. I look at it like, bro, imagine if like one of our friends started saying the Kanye shit. What would we do? Would we just immediately be like, get the fuck out of here, leave, go home, you're not allowed to hang out with us anymore? We would go to him and go, yo, dude, what's up?
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
What's up? Yeah. But also at the same time, I don't agree with all the people who are kind of like, Kanye's just crazy, he's not responsible for this. And it's like, no there needs to be, whether it's like Kanye's life or the people around him, he needs to. And I know it's at this point though, it's unfortunate because it might be, goddamn, that looks like a good time. If for all the audio listeners, Pat's petting the shit out of his cat. But no, I do just hope for Kanye, and I know it's fucking hard at his sort of level, but to be able to surround himself with some fucking good people so he can chill the fuck out. But I also think too there's like a big there's a little bit of like a hypocritical reaction to all this Kanye shit, because it's like if your big thing is if your big thing is the fact that like Kanye's saying all the wrong shit, well, rather than fucking trying to unperson the guy, why has no one ever taken the time to like actually go talk to Kanye and been
Yeah.
like, yo, dude, this is where you're fucking up.
Well,
You know
this
what
is
I mean? I would respect, here's the thing, I would respect fucking Adidas more because Adidas, they're like, well, because that's the other part of this shit. Most of these fucking companies don't fucking care. That's the truth. Most of these companies don't fucking care. If Adidas actually cared, they'd fucking day one get rid of the guy, but they took their time to sort of like feel the vibe. And they're like, oh,
yeah,
this isn't,
yeah, yeah.
Adidas took the time to feel the vibe. They're like, this isn't going away. Okay, we'll cut Kanye. And oh, look, they magically kept all the designs for his shoes that they didn't
Yeah.
stop selling. But it's like, I would respect Adidas more if they were like, yo, we hired this dude. He's got, or like, we're going to talk to Kanye and, kind of talk to him about this. But they don't do that. They don't actually fucking care. So I think I like it. My whole thing is like, it doesn't help the fucking situation if you see someone who's saying wrong shit and then you do nothing to fucking help that person.
Yeah.
Kanye still has a responsibility, but also if you, like I said, if it was one of our friends who had did this, if we just banished him from the friend group, it'd be like, were you guys even fucking friends with him?
And that's my whole point with with the whole thing with, come on, buddy, with
Giving you fucking started it, dude. You can't kick him out. You started the fucking pet sesh
with him getting so many opportunities to say this shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the point where, so like I was saying earlier, like it's not the fact that he's going on all these shows, it's the fact that he's going on all these shows and nobody's going, like, from the start, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you saying? And like calling him on all this shit. So they're just letting him say it. They're getting their clickbait clip, and then at the end they're going like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if that's right, I don't know. And then they're giving him this platform and they're giving him this opportunity. But look, you're right, he is responsible for it right now, but there is a solution.
No, that reminds me that you're making, it's like almost, I remember this one time in college, our friend Troy, we kept fucking like, we were at a party. He hadn't really drank before. So we thought it was funny if he got super duper fucking drunk.
Right.
And we kept being like, come on, Troy, take a shot. Do this, take a shot. And then he got like the most drunk. He like pissed his pants, puked in the kitchen. But then it'd be one thing if we then reacted and went,
what
Troy,
fuck,
I can't.
Kyle?
Yeah, Troy, I can't.
Troy.
That's really funny, by the way. You guessed his brother's name.
Oh, nice. Oh, how did I do that?
But no, it'd be really fun. But like, we would be the dickheads if we then went to Troy, and like, obviously there's personal responsibility of not getting that drunk if you don't want to get that drunk. Right. But then it'd be one thing if we then went to Troy and was like, yo, why'd you get so fucking drunk?
Right. I think that
there it's here's the problem. People try to make this like absolute, very black and white. It's one thing and this and that. Kanye has personal responsibility, but as a society, we have hyped him up over the years. And then also at the same time, though, when people fuck up, I think it's way better to try to help them. If you think they said something wrong, do your best to try to teach them teach them what they did wrong.
Right. Hey, I'm going to run and take a piss real quick.
Okay. Well,
I won't forget my point.
No. Okay. Wait, are you going pee-pee right now?
I got to pee right now. It's going to happen.
Okay, here, I'll hit pause on the episode.
All right.
All right. Pat got rid of all his pee-pee. I got a little bit more. I was actually glad because I had the exact opposite issue. I needed more water. I almost ate shit getting up, by the way, because we've been podcasting for so long, and I'm like, the way I'm sitting on my knee, and I fucking stood up, and I was like, ha. Well, you had another point you were gonna make.
So yeah, basically, I think the point of you saying like you allowing a buddy to just kind of make an ass of themselves isn't the problem, but then blaming them for the problem, I think is a great point. But
I don't mean that absolutely, because I saw someone saying this on Twitter, and like I've been saying, I do think it's naive to sort of just like give Kanye a complete fucking pass. But at the same time, I just think the way a lot of people are going about it, where it's like, okay, if you actually give a shit about the point, fucking banishing Kanye from normal society is not the way to go about it.
It's not the way to, and I think it's a pretty simple solution. Just you either deplatform him for a little bit, give him a little time out, or you leave all of his stuff up. He's still allowed to do all his interviews, but he has a conservatorship. And the conservator is Billy Crystal. One of the world's famousest Jews. You film it
Yo, I hate you so much.
and you get a reality show. Aren't you glad you waited for that?
I'm definitely, the listeners are glad they waited all 9 hours to hear that. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been a good episode.
I do think a conservatorship in this case would be smart, because once we took Brittany off hers, we were like, oh shit.
I disagree with that. I think the conservatorship's what fucked her up. She needed that for.
Oh, you think that's what got her to this point?
Oh, 100%. Because if you watch that, there was like 2 really good documentaries about it, and like her dad completely just turned her into like a fucking workhorse. And
guess what? Not Jewish.
See that, Kanye?
See that, Kanye?
There's some non-Jews that can do bad stuff.
There's some evil non-Jews out there. I don't know if you've seen Barbarian, but you know he's pretty. I don't think he was Jewish.
Hitler wasn't Jewish.
Hitler wasn't Jewish. In fact, the exact opposite.
That guy was a jerk.
Actually, no, he was Jewish.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Oh shit.
I think his mom was Jewish, and I think in Jewish
Saddam Hussein wasn't Jewish.
Boom. Nice.
There we go.
I like that.
We get another one. Pol Pot. He also wasn't Jewish. Boom.
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 Take that.
Hold on. That.
Adolf Hitler. I think he was Jewish. Was Jewish question mark?
But yeah, I don't
want to correct there.
Nah, I don't know. It's just the way. I gotta be honest. It's just the way I am. I don't think he should. I don't think he should be deplatformed. I think he should be mocked and ridiculed. And whenever people say dumb shit, you should just be like, "Oh, actually, this is why you're dumb."
Yeah, because they're very easy. They're very provable wrong, like easily proven wrong.
Dude, because honestly, it'd be more effective to just, because here's what could happen. It'd be more effective to just turn Kanye into like a joke, because then he like doesn't become cool anymore, and then his fat, and no one gives a fuck about his fashion.
Exactly.
And no one gives a fuck about his song. And also too, I was reading an article, like his streams immediately dipped after all this shit started happening. It's like, here's the reality. Like the average person thinks Kanye's a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. The way I am, the shit I believe in, I'm very big on freedom of speech. I'm very big on all that shit. But, going back to the fucking Rogan thing, I know it sounds cool. I know people roll their eyes when they say it, but I do firmly believe it. You can hit bad speech with better speech. And this shit is such bad that it's fucking easy to fucking, it's fucking easy to intellectually clap Kanye's cheeks. Kanye, bro, I was saying the thing where he was like, "Oh, I just read what anti-Semitic meant," and he was also like, half apologizing for certain things. It's like, dude, Kanye literally is a couple good conversations away from being like, "Oh shit, my bad, dude."
Yeah. Oh fuck, really?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I don't know. It's dude, fucking, they almost made Kanye not cool with the gay fish shit. Like, you could easily make Kanye not cool with this stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Gay fish it like in no time.
All right, no time. Yeah. Kanye could be gay fish in no time.
No time. No time, dude.
That's so funny. But I'm gonna write that down. That was the wait, Kanye could be gay fish. There we go. He was doing that. He was doing that on the Lex Friedman podcast, which was so funny, where I'm like, this guy's fucking weird. Like, stop fucking, he's not scary. He's a fucking weird fucking dork.
and that's why I feel like I felt so, like, not being a Kanye fan, but seeing him, and I've seen interviews, I've seen him in the media. It's not just because, so I've seen all of the artists, and I haven't experienced a ton of the art. So I am coming into this with a pure thing of like, guy sounds like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, Kanye the dude.
He's not a talented creator, performer, or whatever. I'm just saying the guy's, I don't think a genius. I think he's just very, 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 very mentally ill.
Yeah, and he's a bit of a narcissist, and all, you put all that shit together, you create a bit of a goofball.
But again, it's great that he's putting it into art. because once you start putting it into other things, it starts, obviously you see, you put your energy into else thing, hey,
All right, we've been going on forever. I want to do one more topic because
let's do it.
I'm a little talked out, but I do really want to hear your opinion on this. So Taylor Swift, are you familiar?
Familiar.
Actually, it's a good jump over from Kanye because he had that fucking God. That's when I was like realized I was like, he's a dickhead.
Although he
Like
did,
I hate to I can I say this? I hate to just because he's like Kanye's down bad. I hate to just jump on the. It's like lazy in my opinion to jump to like
you're
jump
welcome
on
on
the
the
like
bandwagon. I've been on the Kanye West is a fucking asshole bandwagon for
yeah.
since like a little bit before that.
Well, you know what it was for me because the Taylor Swift thing didn't completely convince me. But you know what it was for me? It's like hearing him bitch and moan about not being where he wants to be in fashion, and it's like,
Yeah,
dude, I gotta be. First off, I think people who don't get me wrong, I like to buy cool looking clothes, and I'm into like I bought some. I remember Nate convinced me to buy some cool looking shoes, and you have like a different energy when you're wearing cool looking shoes and shit like that.
I agree. Yeah,
So I'm not anti fashion, but it's like these people who their whole personality is fashion and they get deep into it and all that stuff. I was listening to someone break it down about like why Kanye's a fashion icon and shit. And the whole time I'm like, you guys sound like fucking morons.
yeah.
It's whatever vapid morons get tricked into being like what the fucking cool thing is. It's about status. It doesn't matter what the fuck it looks like.
It's Kanye in general. Like it's the thing of like once people just start saying like the Kardashians are celebrities, it just happens. Like it just happens.
Yeah, yeah. It's
There's nothing that there. But see, Kanye was offering something, at least.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, but the point I was making is but yeah, just that general fucking like just hearing him yap and yap about how fucking important his and then the clothes he puts out looks like random shit you'd see on a homeless person. You know what I mean? It's just like
Well,
hearing him go, what?
well, surprise, surprise. That's what he sounds like.
But like just hearing him bitch and moan that like bit like this rich celebrity bitch and moan that these high-end fashion dealers aren't giving him the time of day. I was just like, oh, we're dealing with like a fucking vapid baby.
Yeah.
So that's when I sort of like started rolling my eyes hard at Kanye. I'll defend his right to fucking say shit, and I'll defend people's rights to fucking come back at him and all this other shit. But just like as a dude, because I don't want to sound like I'm getting on the fucking fuck Kanye bandwagon. I've been rolling my eyes at him since fucking a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only point I was trying, because I always get weird about like I hate when like the fucking mob goes after someone. It's like that thing where it's like, oh, me and people I don't like happen to have the same opinion. And it's like I need to make it clear. I'm like, you know what I mean? I need to make it
Yeah.
clear where I'm at on
You
that.
you can't the reason him complaining about his fashion line being not where it should be or anything like that is the same reason, and it's the same feeling I got when he did interrupt Taylor Swift, because that's the thing is I am not a Taylor Swift fan at all. I like way more Kanye West than I do Taylor Swift for sure.
Yeah.
Beyonce. I like way more Beyonce than I do Kanye West. You know what I mean? Like so there's a situation where you're making me stand up for somebody that I don't like in defense of another person that I also don't really like.
Well,
And you're somebody that I don't like, but you're making it so the same energy of him going like I'm not where I should be, blah 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 blah. But okay, so you are personally giving so much power to the Grammys, but then
no, dude, not
you
the
are
Grammys.
declaring
No. Not the Grammys. This goes to the point I was about to make. The fucking VMAs. That's the other
the
part of it.
VMAs.
Yeah, it was the fucking VMAs.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like, dude,
are
you're
you sure
really
it
gonna
wasn't the Grammys?
what?
I thought it was the Grammys.
No, dude, it was the VMAs.
Oh my
I'll double
God.
check.
Yeah, what are you
That's
doing?
my point, dude. Where it's just like, it's like, oh, this guy gives a fuck about dumb shit. It's
Okay,
like,
so but my point, I guess my point was you going up there to complain that Beyonce deserved to get this video or to get this award, not you, is you are giving all of the power to now I thought it was the Grammys, the VMAs,
yep, it was the
and in the
VMAs.
same sense not showing them the respect. So you're saying this is a decorated artist that needs to be celebrated, and I'm going to come up here and completely show disrespect to the whole ceremony itself. Like, so what is it? It like it's not the BETs, it's not the Grammys, it's the fucking
VMA.
goddamn MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah,
Like,
that's that
who
you're
gives a fuck?
yeah,
You
exactly.
do, but also Beyonce doesn't give a fuck. So now you're bringing her ass into it. You're making people stand up for somebody else that they don't like, and you're
Yeah.
creating yourself as a villain for no reason except for people talking about you because you're a narcissist.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you're gonna die on this hill for the fucking VMAs.
Damn, I thought it was the Grammys,
Dude,
dude.
even the Grammys though.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is like all of this is just all Hollywood pomp and circumstance bullshit that you're like, it shouldn't have any power. You can't have any power over me, but you have all of the power over me. It's
That's
like
what
you're losing, dude. You're
that's
you're,
my
you're
point.
losing the fight you're starting by starting the fight.
That's my point about the fucking whenever people start bitching about the Grammys, I go, okay, first off, the fact that you're upset about a choice the Grammys made, you're already fucking up. I always go back to the original shit. And once again, I'm not even trying to dogpile on fucking Macklemore. I enjoyed a few of his songs. But the year that if Macklemore is gonna beat his fucking album is gonna beat Kendrick Lamar's New Kid Mad City,
Yeah.
the second that happens, you're like, oh, the Grammys are illegitimate.
Yeah, this is bullshit.
Like I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but like, oh, if you're gonna have a committee and you're gonna pick the best rap album, and one of the choices is Good Kid, Mad City, and another choice is whatever Macklemore's album is, and you pick Macklemore's album, I go,
Right.
oh, you're really, really bad at your job. This thing
Um,
isn't legitimate anymore.
right. And
So
that's
the
what I'm
fact
saying.
that anyone cares what the Grammy says is the problem. It's not the problem isn't what the Grammys say. The problem is that you care what the Grammys say.
Right.
And
And that's
honestly, you could relate that back to the Kanye conversation. It's like the problem that you give Kanye so much power with his words
right.
is also a problem.
Right. You are giving him a place to be the person you don't like. As opposed to whereas in every other scenario, if somebody was on a podcast saying some hateful shit, you try to take them down from every other place
Yeah.
while sharing that one thing. Like it's the same idea. Like it's you're looking for there to be a problem, but in this case, you're just allowing the problem to completely surface over and over again. But
Mm-hmm.
but we were digressing from the Taylor Swift
Yes.
conversation, but
Yes. So let's
it did continue. But that's a great that is a good connection too.
So yeah, let's talk about Taylor Swift. I was very curious what your opinion about this was because so last week her album came out
Mm-hmm.
and I saw it's kind of relates to actually in a similar vein. And I'm honestly it kind of relates to a similar vein of like what we've been talking about with like know the source.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like know the source. And I gotta be honest, I'm not even gonna act like I fucking hate Taylor Swift. I don't. She's
Right.
probably a nice young lady.
Sure.
I've had a few songs of her that I surprisingly enjoy. She's got the one song Blank Spaces. I've caught myself being a little fucked up and watching YouTube videos, and there's something about the song Blank Spaces that hits me in a special type of way.
I
I
do have
don't
a my phony alarm goes off with her a lot just because I feel like she still is like somebody almost like going back to our blink talk of going like this, gee shucks, oh boy, I'm just trying my best over here, kind of I don't believe the humble bullshit. Like she is a celebrity, a huge person. She does play into it a little bit, but
no,
same.
she's
I
definitely
don't necessarily hate her, but I don't like she's not somebody I seek
yeah,
out.
no, she's had a decent amount of fuckery in the past. She's like her group, I don't know if it was her specifically, but like her camp has like flagged YouTube videos where people cover her songs.
Yeah, and also she did a thing a while back that I thought was really like bullshit, where she was fighting for artists to get more money from streams, and she was doing it in the sense of like she made the argument saying all of these independent artists are out here and they're not getting money for the songs that they deserve. And like so then they're like Spotify's like, okay, Taylor, we're gonna do that for you. And guess whose streams went way the fuck up? Taylor Swift. She didn't mention any smaller indie bands. She just mentioned small indie bands. So she
Okay.
didn't use her. She was just saying, yeah. So guess what? You're gonna make a fuck ton of money. You took an opportunity that you could have helped
Spotlight
propel
a band.
a handful, and say like, there's bands like blah 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 that get streams and they're not getting any money for it. Why should I be the only one? Like something like that. And then it's like, okay, well, or why should I get money for because I'm part of a big record company, but these artists can't. So making it all artists get money for streams, meaning she gets the most money for streams.
Did they change the
Yeah,
payout though?
they it's the same. I think it's flat. Like so, I honestly don't know the structure of the thing, but they did make it to they changed the rule to where now artists do get paid for their streams, including indie artists, to be named later. But
Well, at
definitely
least there's that. I'll give her
that's
props
not
for
direct. That if that's like one of the worst things she's doing, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give her if
Okay.
she got even if she didn't say anyone's name, if she got artists more money, I'll give her props for that.
Yeah, she and then there's like personal shit that like Dom has probably mentioned in the past where like, oh, she went to this lady's wedding and or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't care.
But so the thing though, I guess her album came out last week, and I saw a bunch of people just like a bunch of people breaking down the album and like pointing out like why parts of it were bad and like this and that and it's like stupid and it's like people are giving these examples of just like it's the songwriting's not that good and things about it
like
are kind of
nondescript like
and they'll be like pointing out they'll be like, oh yeah, this thing's bad about it or this thing's like fucking vapid and this and that. And I kept seeing that the day her album came out. And I just wanted to go to all those people and I'd be like, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys not remember? Do you not remember what happened with her? She was doing bullshit country music for a while.
Right.
And then for whatever reason, remember when that fucking album, you remember Shake It Off?
Yeah, yeah.
You remember how just her like she took a complete right turn to just put out generic pop horseshit?
Right.
And yeah, so she's been doing that, and then like, so she's doing the fucking like she's doing
her country shit was also country bullshit. It's
bullshit. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah,
yeah. It's all been the whole exact. Yeah, you're right. The whole
like I'm
time.
not trying to be like a
she didn't sell out. She has always sucked.
That's my thing. But no, like I'm not trying to be like a pretentious hipster or anything. But it just feels like the facts of the matter. Like Taylor Swift has been vapid mainstream bullshit for middle schoolers the whole time. The whole fucking time. And also, my dad fucked with her for some reason when she was doing bullshit country, but that's another conversation where I was disappointed in him.
That was probably how I was so interested in Britney Spears when her first album came out, but I was interested in other things.
But like, so yeah, she's just like I said, she's been vapid pop horseshit for fucking middle schoolers this whole time. So it's like, if you're a fucking 30-year-old and you're breaking it down about why her shit is bad, it's like, yeah, no, like, what's the fuck? There's like a joke where like I forget if it was a sketch or something but it's like oh no, I think it was like DJ Khaled or whatever, but it's like congratulations, you just played yourself. Like you snitched on yourself for being a fucking moron.
Dude, it's when people that's my favorite / least favorite thing about when somebody we're talking about this earlier, comments online or something like that, when your complaint is, I don't get it. And it's like, okay, you're stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a clip that I put online where I'm telling a joke, a bunch of people laugh, and then you send me a thing that says, I don't like it. Noted. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll know not to tag you in the next one. I don't know what to say aside from good. Like you said, good. You just played yourself, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's
what does that mean that you didn't do the thing? Like you're just complaining about how stupid you are. That's what you're complaining about. Is like, or how stupid you've been. And this,
it's like if you watch
fan forever, and this is way different than I wish I knew any of her.
Yeah, no, dude, that's a really great point. That's a really great point too, where you're like, I've been a Taylor Swift fan forever, and ever since I became adult, I've noticed her music's very immature and childish. You're like, because it's for fucking children.
It's like saying that you don't like fucking the Wiggles anymore.
Yeah,
Like
it's like saying,
they don't fucking hit like they used to when I was 2.
or it's like I don't know if you fuck with the Marvel movies, but it's like saying
Yeah.
like you're like, oh yeah, these Marvel movies are kind of like, they're not that deep, and you're like, yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying to make a movie that the whole world can relate to.
Dude, the first Avengers, by the time the first Avengers came out, I was like, oh, I don't need to ever see another one of these again because it's the same thing over and over again. But like it's also a popular genre of movie making. Is a thing that if I'm going to a Marvel movie, I'm gonna go to the 3D one. I probably want to go to the ones where the fucking seats move around and shit because it's like a theme park movie. You're already
Yeah.
spending fucking $40 to go to the movies anyway. Go in there and get like act like they're fucking the Hulk is trying to jerk you off because it's gonna be a better experience
Well,
if you
that's how I
go in
watch
with the
She-Hulk.
correct perspective.
That's
Hell
how I
yeah,
watch
dude.
She-Hulk. That's
I
the
haven't
only
watched
good.
it yet. No spoilers. Hold on. No
That's the.
spoilers.
That's you actually pulled the headphones out.
Yeah, that's
That's
gonna
that's the only thing I like about She-Hulk. I just sit there and I go, "Shut up, jerk me off."
Andy Hard.
But yeah, man, it's just because there's this fucking, I don't know, man. There's this fucking thing. It's like, dude, it's like if you watched a basketball game and you're like, do you guys notice they're all so fucking tall? And you're like, yeah, when the fuck did you get here?
Yeah, did you know wrestling's fake too? Stupid. What do you think?
Yeah, like what the
It
fuck are you talking? I don't know. I really think that's like, I think that's the best way to put it. It's like, yo,
Taylor
you're,
Swift didn't change. You did.
yeah, it's like, yo, you're like, you're not, I don't think you're as smart as you think you are. And I'm not trying to act like I'm a fucking genius or anything. I'm no Kanye. I'm no genius.
Yeah,
But no, I'm not trying to act
I
like
am.
I'm not trying to act like I'm a fuck. Wait, what'd you say?
I am. I'm a
Oh,
genius.
I
I
know
just
you
shit
are.
myself.
I know you are, buddy. I'm not trying to act like I'm a fucking genius or anything, but it's just like, dude, if you're a full grown adult, breaking down why Taylor Swift is sort of
Taylor
like,
Swift.
yeah, I like to get talking Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to break down why Taylor Swift shit is sort of like simple and
Yeah.
not that deep or whatever, you're like,
So contrived.
yeah, it's like, no, I wish it was contrived. It's not. That's the point.
Oh, I don't know what contrived means then.
Fair enough.
Fuck. You got
Yeah,
me.
I don't know. I just wanted to make that statement
Yeah.
where it's just like because it's, dude, I see it all the time. Like I just saw I didn't want to tweet about this because I try not to like directly shit on other comics like this, but like I saw this sketch recently that you remember that app? You remember that app that was like a beer? Like
Oh,
it,
yeah.
your phone,
Yeah.
your
I remember.
phone would
That was
fill
like
up,
one of the first apps. Yeah, yeah.
and then you could do this, and the beer
like,
would
check it
pour
out.
out.
Look,
Like
it's like I'm drinking a beer.
and I'm sure all these comics who made it.
Whoa. Did you get a water app?
I'm sure all these comics who made the sketch are cool dudes and whatever the fuck, but like it just, I saw the sketch and there was like a bigger thing to it that kind of annoyed me more about like people watching it going like, hell yeah, this is so hilarious. But like in the sketch, they kept having the beer app and they're like, hey, toss me a cold one. The guy throws him the phone and then like he chugs the beer. And it's this thing where they're trying to be like, this app's fucking stupid. And you're like, yeah, we all knew it was dumb. Like a bunch of us don't get me wrong, I think I downloaded it.
Yeah.
And then you like,
it's one of those things where you're like, what the fuck? And you're like, oh, that's it. And
you
you're like,
do the thing, but it's like it's this thing. I see it a lot more now where it's what annoys me. You see it a lot more with like nerdier people where they don't like
it's
it was
bumper
my pro.
sticker.
Do you remember the podcast How Did This Get Made?
Yeah.
It was a whole podcast being like, did you guys know this shitty movie fucking sucks?
Dude,
And
it's
that, like
yes.
I see it way more often. I see it way more often with like nerdy dudes and people like that, where it's like they get really obsessed with like pointing out like, oh, the dumb thing's dumb. And it's just like that to me, not to sound like a fucking pretentious cunt, but that to me is lazy and boring.
Yeah, it's stupid to me. Like I have been somebody early on where, and this is why I think a lot of times I think I come off as like not understanding, like not getting it.
Yeah.
I get it. I just don't like, so it's the same idea with Kanye or the Kardashians or any of the other things. I don't like to, like, I get what they're doing. They're just like, it's just a thing. Like, it's just happening.
Yeah.
And like, everybody's like, Kardashians are so classy and so cool and so awesome. Like, and then everybody like, really? I don't
Wait,
get
people
that. Like,
say that?
Yeah, like that.
They're the trashiest fucks I've ever fucking seen.
And that's what I'm saying is like it's this, and like I said, it's people like promoting or like or supporting or rewarding like shitty behavior,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing of like, or it's like or shitty media or something like that, where they're like, it's so bad it's good, like where the Fast and the Furious movies became movies that people actually really like, and they're like, I would love this franchise, it's amazing, and they top the box office and shit, like, and they're fucking stupid vapid movies that I don't like, but it's not
Yeah.
for me. I'm not one of those people, but I understand the thing of like this, like shitting on a thing just because it's stupid. I get it, but it's also like, what, like you could very easily just not do it. It's the same
It's
idea,
a pro
same
that shit's a
energy as like somebody going up there and going like, yeah, oh yeah, I know. Why would I wear this shirt? The shirt like you put it on. You put it on so you could
you
do.
put it on.
You do
No,
it, and
that
it's
that
immediately just seeing right past what you're doing.
that stuff never excited me. I don't get why people do it. It's like it's there's no challenge to it. There's no process, there's nothing. Like, oh, let's find out, like let me
And it's a
do.
genuine waste of my time. Like I genuinely
Yeah.
I'm not entertained by it. So it's like one of those things. So it is a lot of times it's being angry at something for not being for you.
Well, there's this thing too. There's this thing too now. Thinking about Taylor Swift, thinking about Kanye, it made me realize as we're talking, it made me realize there's this thing now where um, people rather than, because honestly, I was saying this before about Kanye. If you're not like making Kanye irrelevant, will do more to hurt him than anything they're doing right now.
Yeah.
But there's this thing where everyone is a do-gooder. Everyone needs to right any wrong that has ever happened. So you have these people actively like, there's way more focus on let's attack people who we think are doing bad things rather than, bro, you can do way more damage, especially someone who's vapid like Kanye or fucking probably like Taylor Swift hides it better, but I'm sure she's a vapid moron too.
Yeah.
But like anyone like that, you can do more damage to them by making them irrelevant than you ever could by fucking, because the second you start attacking them, you make them more irrelevant. I'm not
Challenge them.
saying,
Yeah, challenge them. That's the thing, is that's how they get to this point.
yeah,
Is
I'm not
haven't been
saying,
challenged. They have Nobody's ever said, "Are you sure?" Or, that sounds kind of stupid. Like
yeah.
that sounds dumb. Or
No,
if they
that
do,
That's a great way to put it. Challenge them, because I'm not trying to say anything you dislike, just ignore it. Because, like, if
no,
there's some shit that you know is wrong that people don't realize, it's good to
right.
point it out. But the constant, there is a point too where you can also do a lot of damage to someone by making them irrelevant.
Well, a lot of times with the artists, people will like the kind of good that you can do is when you see plagiarism or you see somebody taking, like when they do the layered, they're like, this song sounds exactly like this song, and they
Yeah.
put it over, and you're like, they actually just stole it. Like Taylor, I think that was the thing. I think Taylor Swift has been caught in one of those before. I think that's maybe I'm conflating it with another story, but I think there's a somewhere in the past where she's done something with a song where they're like, yeah, that sounds a lot like this. It kind of sounds
Hmm.
like okay, or pursued one of those things. But ultimately, she's not a G shucks. Oh boy, it is a formula. It is a thing that has been uh like workshopped and fucking focus grouped. She is a product.
Yeah.
She is a vessel for a product to be sold, which is Taylor Swift Inc.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you're saying I'm not getting any substance from this album, like the other Taylor Swift albums. You know what I mean? Like then I have to go, yeah, I don't know. It's I would argue that more with a band maybe closer to like Blink 182 that maybe was writing more personally and
Yeah.
had more specific storytelling that they were doing, but now they are at the Taylor Swift level where you aren't these aren't your
Well,
experiences.
no, that is a good point though. I think a
Either
band,
share your experiences or just take it at what it's worth. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think Blink 182, it's more of a conversation to be like their shit sucks than it is to be like Taylor Swift shit sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at one point there was substance in it. There was
Yeah.
something in there. With her, she just had slower songs and poppier songs. That's all it is. It's the same baby. I love. love you, baby. It's baby love. I'm gonna love you forever, baby.
Which song's that?
Baby.
I like that one.
Baby, I love you.
All right. I think we
Ping
did
pong,
it, Pat.
ping pong, baby, I love you.
I think
You
we
didn't know
did it,
we're
Pat.
gonna get taken down now. She's gonna take us down.
Oh yeah, dude, you did the
Fuck,
fucking
sorry.
that's the exact fucking way her song went.
Cut this part out.
I will. All right, Pat, we
Oh,
fucking did it. We're the best.
we're done already?
Yeah, dude.
It's been
Fucking
almost
9 hours flies
12
by real
hours.
quick.
What the fuck?
We just started.
Damn.
All right,
Flew
dude.
by.
Flew fucking by. Guys, gals, everyone in between, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. We love you all. Have a good one. Peace.